New Jerusalem is on the grill. Got the coals ready to barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Light it up. So, you know what I'm saying? If you want to come in here and go ahead and express yourself. Express yourself. You know what I'm saying? And even if you have to ask, what is our doctrine on this, that, and the third, that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? Ask that to establish what our doctrine is about a particular matter, and then go ahead and go in on us. You know what I'm saying? Chew us out, cuss us out, whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that censoring madness that Christians do. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowed to express yourself. You're not allowed to speak on their platforms at all. And they only want their lives to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So if we say something incorrect, we want to be corrected ASAP so that we have a true testimony of Hamashiach. You know what I'm saying? That's important to us. You know what I'm saying? Other people don't want to be examined at all. So I'm gonna sit here in silence until one of y'all get in here and try a maneuver. You know what I'm saying? And try to figure out what we teach and try to correct it for us. We would certainly appreciate that. We know you can't do it. It's no problem. We know it's impossible or close to impossible. We might have something wrong. I don't know. I won't know until I hear from an outside source who got fresh eyes and ears, you know what I'm saying, and looks at things differently than I do. So go ahead and get yourself in here. You know what I'm saying? Go pop you some popcorn first. Sit down, get you something to drink, get you some tea. Sit down. Ask us what our doctrines are. Because you clearly don't know them because we don't have a lot of viewers in the first place. So you clearly don't know what our doctrines are. So just pick one of your favorite doctrines that you are expert in defending. Bring it up and correct us on that doctrine. We certainly appreciate you. And I'm gonna be sitting right here silent until you get in. Oh yeah, another thing. There's a debate, a flat Earth debate on Blog Talk Radio. Tazapanya and Ben Lloyd versus G. Coma and Michelle Edwards. So they on Blog Talk Radio, and I think it begins at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So at 9:00, I'm going to be listening into that because that's one of our doctrines here in New Jerusalem is that the earth is completely level. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a ball at all. You've never seen it as a ball. You can't show any type of evidence that it is a ball. And I'm glad that you think it's a ball because you're confused. And I know to stay away from it. Any type of confusion is not written by the Heavenly Father. And the only reason bald heads are coming out against their own brothers is because we started teaching that the earth is level. And since we started saying that, and all of a sudden, you just come over here out the blue, start talking smack. That's ridiculous. You're just looking for something to fight about. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that lack of brotherly love is gonna cause a problem for you. I'm just letting you know that now. But we can reason together. You know what I'm saying? If that's one of your pet peeves is that the earth is a ball, come in here and show me that it's a ball. Screen share, come in here and screen share the ball to us. We appreciate that too. Mary was a virgin. Hamashiach was born to a woman who had never had sex before in her entire life. Okay, so that's one of our doctrines right there. Another doctrine that we have is that when Israel comes together, we're going to appoint ourselves one head. That process is called elections. It's a decision making process where we decide that we come up with nominees. We say we want this person to lead. No, we want this person to lead. No, we want this person to lead. So this process right here is elections. In order for a group of people to appoint one head over them, they have to argue about it. There's no choice because everybody's not going to agree to have one ruler. See what I'm saying? And which ruler that should be, which person that should be. So that process is called elections. That's one of our doctrines right there. We're not going to be living under a monarchy until Hamashiach returns and become the King of Kings. Every citizen of New Jerusalem is going to be a king after our treasure is returned to our nation. The only way our treasure can be returned to our nation is if we have a mature government that is ruling itself and taking care of itself. It has its own commerce and has its own military, its own education system, its own judicial system, its own healthcare system, and all the rest of that stuff, science, everything else. So transportation, you know what I'm saying? So all these things have to mature into a solidified nation that's actually functioning. You know what I'm saying? The treasure is not going to return to some dummies, you know what I'm saying, that's scattered all over everywhere, fighting about completely trivial matters that don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of our doctrines as well. I mean, we got a whole bunch of doctrines. So just pick one of your favorite doctrines that you're an expert at and bring it up in here. I'll be sitting right here. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm going to Blog Talk Radio to listen in on that flat earth debate. You know what I'm saying? If nobody comes in here.
Hey, Devar, Shabbat Shalom, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yo, you know you're live streaming. There's no sound, no nothing. You
Yeah,
got.
that's what I told everybody. I'm sitting right here silent until somebody get in here and challenge our doctors.
Oh, okay, my man. I didn't hear you say that. I listened for several minutes and there was nothing.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. No problem. Just sitting there chilling, man. Playing some chess.
Hey, it is what it is, man. How them Bitcoins treat you, man?
I think that I haven't even checked up on them since I bought them. I bought them to do something right quick, and I don't know what they're doing now. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. All right, man. Well, yeah, I'm just editing some footage, man. And I just got done live streaming for over 2 hours, man. So I'm a little worn out. Not to mention, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I wasn't sure if you knew that you were streaming. I didn't know if you didn't know you were live, but what
Yeah.
are y'all supposed to debate Flat Earth? Is that on tonight on Debate Talk at 8 or something?
Yeah, Tazapanya is the big one.
LeBron and Garfield, or what? What's going on?
Yeah, it's supposed to be in 404. Ron Garfield, uh, Michelle Edwards, and some other guy, some other Kemite, and I can't remember. But it's supposed to be Tazapanya, Ben Lloyd, Sean, Sean Martinez, and me. You know what I'm saying? So it's supposed to be 4-on-4, but they keep you know what I'm saying, skipping out on the debate. So now it's 2-on-2. So it's Tazapanya and Ben Lloyd versus LeBron and probably Michelle Evans. G Coma and Michelle Evans.
Right, but that's like I saw that it was supposed to happen uh tonight, but I just checked Blog Talk and it must have got canceled.
Oh, what? It's supposed to start at 9 o'clock now.
Oh, well, I thought it started at 8, but I'm subscribed to his show and it doesn't say Debate Talk for you.
Right. Oh, let me take a look at the flyer right quick. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I know. Look, I know what the flyer says about. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because let me show you, because I saw the flyer too. That's why I was asking. But I'm subscribed to Debate Talk for You. So when I go to Blog Talk Radio, and I'm screen sharing now, you see that? It
Yeah.
would say live or remind me, like Red Pill and Blue Pill got a show in 10 minutes. Do the Knowledge is on now. Pastor Dow is on now. Johanna is on now. Well, the ISUPK Hebrew class is on. But it looks like Debate Talk for You might have got canceled, my man.
Oh man. Yep. As usual.
I'm just editing some footage, waiting for some stuff to upload. I'm gonna check out this show with Red Pill and Blue Pill. But all right, man. Well, I just wanted to make sure you knew you were broadcasting, man.
Good looking out, man.
If anything goes down or I end up doing anything later, you know what I'm saying, you're welcome to join me. And I guess I'll send you the link if you're bored or if you want to listen to whatever I'm checking out on Blog Talk. I'll send it, man. But Shabbat Shalom to you, good brother. You know what I'm saying? You can always hit me on the Google Plus.
All right.
All right, Devar.
Appreciate you.
No problem.
Yeah, see that? See that thoughtfulness right there? See, that's an attempt at brotherly love right there. You see what I'm saying? This is why we fucks with Basim and not these other people who hate their own brother. You see what I'm saying? He ain't have to come in here and try to tell me that there ain't no sound. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just because he wants a high quality show like his show. be high quality. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to go on air and have dead air. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what, is the debate canceled or something? Oh, because Boss Sim said it might be canceled. Global media. It said he said he's looking at Blog Talk Radio and he doesn't see any type of reminders and all that stuff for it. So it's not being promoted. Oh, okay. I thought so. I need you to I'll let you know here in a few minutes. Man, that last minute stuff, okay, I'll be ready. I'll be ready though. But I mean, so Ben Lord hasn't contacted you yet? I just talked to him at 6:30, but I just called him right now. He asked me about when the 8 o'clock start, I'm gonna call in. And he's gonna call in. Okay, I'll be there. Cause I already said, cause I'm doing my show now. So I said, if nobody comes into this live hangout, then I'm gonna go listen to the debate. But I might have to be in it, so you know what I'm saying. That's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I done been ready. You know what I mean? So I ain't got to get ready. You got to stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. All right, so you gonna let me? What you gonna let me know at 9 o'clock or what? I mean 8 o'clock. I'll let you know in 5 minutes. All right. Yep. So the ballers want to dip out on the debate again because they don't have any evidence of their lip boxing tactics. That's fine. All right. You know what I'm saying? I prefer you to dip out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I like when people lie like that. You know what I mean? It's very easy to deal with liars. All you gotta do is point out how they're lying. It's real simple. Point out how they're lying. That's how that works. You. Okay, it's that number he gave us last week, right? All right. I'm about to call in. I said I'm about to call in now. All right. Let's see. Okay, it's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm on my way to the Flathead debate.
Welcome to free conference calling. The conference has not started. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code to open the conference. If you are not the host, please press the star key to connect to the conference and wait. We will now connect you to your call. Your host has yet to join. Thank you for waiting.
Hello?
Hey, are you on the line?
Yeah.
All right, for the sake of debate, let's keep it crystal clear and not as specific as far as losing the people. Like, for example, with the brother Michael Edwards, he was talking about, obviously we both say that the lights are fixed into the front of it. We both agree on that. But let's not mislead the people with their own imaginations by saying like it's screwed into the front of it, because it loses people when you use that type of adjective, with the fact that it's fixed in the front. That makes sense.
Yep.
Alright, so that way
I don't do that controversial stuff in formal debates. Ain't no way. Yeah.
I'll take your advice. Whether it's incorrect, obviously, the way the debate is structured, so I think I go first. I'll go second, and then
Okay.
And we're both getting all of our shit out. Picture of it. Brother work at nighttime, so I don't know if he overslept or what.
Hey, Shalom, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, is there a way you can call me three-way so I can hear that joint better?
Call you three-way.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Just make sure you mute your mic when I call you. Let me see here. Okay, yeah. Make sure you mute your mic when I call you. Hold on. Do I got your number? Look at here.
I'm gonna send it to you on the side chat.
All right.
You can't call the number?
I'm already. Wait. You can't call. You can't just call in.
No, I can't find my phone that's with my minutes and joint on it.
But calling you is the same thing though.
No, I can get calls on this one, but I can't send calls out.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay. Did you get that message I sent you?
Let me take a look.
So we'll have an 8-minute opening statement. We can share that 4 minutes, 4 minutes. And then there'll be 5-round rebuttals. You know, we'll have 6 minutes to rebuttal for 5 rounds. And, you know, our whole phone line will be open.
Okay.
And in the cross-examination, we ask them direct questions.
Okay.
So I got me a pen and I'm going to write down every fucking shit that they say.
I know that's right. I want some type of evidence, please. I've been waiting on that for years. Where's the evidence? I look for it myself. I done talked to many bald heads, try to get them to present any form of evidence whatsoever. They never do. Madon Kemet came on there and presented some evidence. Did you see that? We had a flathead discussion the other day, and Madon Kemet came on the show and presented some evidence. You don't know Madon? Yeah, you're not a G plus guy. We be on these hangouts, these Google hangouts. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah, man. I guess
Okay,
he's gonna get ass kicking today anyway.
Say that again.
I was trying to kick his ass myself. I guess he's gonna get an ass kicking today anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I forgot he had a debate. I forgot that debate was today.
Yeah.
He was talking shit over there on Michael Edwards' video.
Yeah, I gotta hang up on this conference call then. Call you right quick here. And do it that way. Call let me see here. Call you first.
It's you and Tazapanya versus LeBron and who?
Michelle.
Oh, he gonna do it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
He told us like he ain't trying to do it.
He said we're irrational. Well, why don't you debate it? Yeah.
No. He got personal issues going on with it that he ain't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Now, yeah, well, he realized that he doesn't have any evidence at all, so there's no way for him to win the debate. And he has philosophies of don't take on battles that you can't win. You know what I'm saying? So he has those comedic, philosophies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If I believe something and I think my opponent is smarter than me, I'm still going to defend my position regardless.
Kind.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got you on the phone now. I'm muted.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, we gave him a thorough enough ass kicking yesterday.
Y'all sure did. But y'all focused on him too much for one thing. And then that Coriolis effect, man, I can't believe y'all dropped the ball on that. Talking about we're not trying to debunk the Coriolis effect, man. Y'all pissed me off so bad with that. The Coriolis effect does not exist, or as it relates to the Earth, because the Earth don't spin. The Coriolis effect is defined as two objects as they relate into position to each other as they move. You know what I'm saying? So
now, what we're trying to get across though is not that we because it's not about he's trying to get us to debunk it. It's not about debunking it. It's about the fact, like I said, we got a lengthier and more in depth and more detailed explanation for why it does that. You know what I'm saying? The explanation that you give for the globe, it doesn't make any sense. You feel what I'm saying? He's trying to ask us to show him a hurricane going clockwise and all that junk. You feel what I'm saying?
I couldn't hear because I was trying to get that thing on there. But yeah, like I was saying, man, listen.
He was basically saying for us to show him a hurricane going clockwise. That don't make sense.
Hold on a second here. Let me share my screen for you right quick, because you can't allow them. They're just showing that you don't know what the Coriolis effect is. Allow them to get away with no Coriolis effect. That don't mean nothing.
No, we didn't let him get away with it.
Y'all was saying we're not trying to debunk it. We have a better explanation for it.
You can't debunk it. It's just. What do you mean?
Okay, here's an example of how you debunk the Coriolis effect. The Earth is spinning in their imagination at 1,000 miles an hour. So if a plane is flying over Earth spinning at 1,000 miles per hour and attempts to land on this 1,000 mile per hour spinning Earth, the plane will never accomplish its landing and will be destroyed every time.
Well, I feel what you're saying on that. But he was more so focused on why the hurricane's spinning in their directions. You feel what I'm saying? And we were saying it's because of the sun.
Right. And you can explain that as well. But what I'm saying is that the Coriolis effect, as it relates to the Earth, does not exist at all because the Earth don't move. See the Coriolis effect. You see my screen? An effect whereby a mass moving in a rotating system experiences a force acting perpendicular, you know what perpendicular is, across, to the direction of motion and to the axis of rotation. On the Earth, the effect tends to deflect moving objects to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere, and is important in the formation of cyclonic weather systems. So somebody told him about this, and it made sense to him on his ball imagination. So
yeah, that's why I knew we could destroy him like that on that joint. But we didn't show no visuals either.
That was another issue that I had, is I didn't understand y'all on the hangout why y'all not being very visual about it.
Because we did it in that time limit and we were just going quick. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So this right here is, you know what I'm saying, the Earth, you already know the Earth does not move. So this is talking about two rotating systems perpendicular to each other. So that's the Earth spinning and a plane trying to land on it. Yeah. That's the Coriolis effect. And a plane will never accomplish its landing with that, if that was a reality, which is not.
And that's another thing I was trying to get across to him as well, is that it doesn't make sense that the reason that you say the hurricane spin counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere, that makes absolutely no sense if the globe is all spinning in the same direction. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because of some imaginary line. You know what I mean? That makes absolutely no sense.
That's right. No, he's saying that something about the gravity or something, it makes it do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He says it's the Coriolis effect that's making it do that. So if it's rotating the same way, how can it be? But see, the real explanation is an object going through water, right?
Yeah, that's the sun's electromagnetic waves pushing it.
There you go.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
if it's cutting, if you see like like say a boat going through water, okay, a boat is going through, trucking along through the water, right? On the right side of the boat, you're gonna see the water swirling one way, and on the left side of the boat, you're gonna see the water swirling the other way.
Exactly.
That's what's happening on the earth.
And that's why that one cat was like,
The sun is cutting
he
through.
doesn't understand the simple logic being presented.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that comment?
Yeah. Reversing arrows. Okay, so physics.
Yeah, it just didn't click to him. But like I said, we need to get him on because you know he was talking about he had time restraints or whatever, he had stuff to do. We need to get him when more on our side and show him, like, you know what I mean, like playing by our rules and pull up these visuals and really crush any, you know what I'm saying, we'll crush anybody on this shit, so it don't matter.
Yeah. And see,
you can't beat.
You see that? That's what's happening. That's what's happening with the sun right there. The sun is cutting through the water, which is the atmosphere. Yeah. The sun is cutting through the atmosphere. So on either side of the sun, the atmosphere is going to spin in different directions, in a symmetrical direction. Yeah.
Some nice music by DebateTalk4u.
There we go.
Hey, that is perfect though, that boat.
Yeah, that's what happens. You can see it even clearer whenever you do something like this. You know what I'm saying? Look at this rowboat. You know what I'm saying? When they put those oars in there, the pattern kind of can look similar to a hurricane, so you can get a little clear. Same here. This is what the sun is doing. It's cutting through the atmosphere like that. So it's dragging the atmosphere along with it. It's dragging it. The atmosphere is stationary, so the sun moves. So it's cutting through the atmosphere and dragging the atmosphere along with it. That's why the clouds move. That's why, you know what I'm saying, heat and cold cause wind, and that's what pushes the clouds and all the rest of everything else, man. So it's nothing but thermalization.
Yeah, and then he was like y'all need to provide some data. And then when I went back on my round, I'm like, you want to know data? I was like, I just said, you know what I'm saying, you can look up the diamagnetic properties of water, and you already know that the moon controls the tides, but it's not just the moon, it's the electromagnetic properties of the sun as well. The moon and the sun both are providing that push and pull. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you talking about data, you know what I mean? He just said this first round that the sun feeds the whole universe in his mind, right? And we know that the sun's electromagnetic waves have an effect on everything that happens on this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that would have to mean that the Earth's electromagnetic field is stronger than the sun's, because
it's keeping it here
much bigger. Yeah, it's much bigger than the sun.
I mean, they work in conjunction. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that was another study that was like we were talking about with the twins, with the study of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
When we talking about the study of the heart, brain, and the different ways and how there's global coherence among people with people's electromagnetic waves. That's also being affected by the sun and the earth. You know what I'm saying? It's global coherence.
Hold on a second. Let me listen to this for 1 second here. Did it hang up on me?
Yeah, I can't hear no music. It said something. And the music cut out.
I think it might have hung up on me because he kept asking me to press 1. Yo.
Yo, keep pressing number 1.
It hung up on me. I had to call back in.
Okay, call back in and press number 1.
All right. I'm gonna call you back, and then I'm gonna call the show back.
Would you have Tasafanya on another line?
No, he called me back and said, "What?" He said, "Press 1. What are you doing? Press 1." I guess it's starting up now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a thorough ass kicking right here, boy.
Did you answer the phone? All right.
Yeah, I'm on.
What's this guy doing? How am I gonna call in? I can't call in if you keep calling me, man.
Okay, hold on one second. I think, hold on one second.
Sure.
Hey yo, that's crazy. Your messages to Tazapanya are loading and mine are still loading too. What the fuck?
Hey, Ben called in.
Okay, good. All right, I'm listening. All right, peace.
All right, so he going in with Vin.
Yeah, great. Good gracious. He called me at the last second. He called me 5 minutes before 9 o'clock. Talking about, I'm gonna need you if Ben don't call in. I said, man, good gracious, you supposed to you're supposed to have all this secured and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? You can't be going at the last second. I said, you lucky I'm always ready though, because I know the information very well. You know what I'm saying? So that's fine. I sit there and eat them alive. I'm curious to see what Vin knows though.
Yeah, well, I still ain't talked to him or heard from him at all.
Yeah, because I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't heard it. All right, press mute right quick.
Off the couch. Hold on, let me go check on him.
Press mute, man. Okay.
Hello, please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. The conference has not started. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code. We will now connect you to your host has yet to join. Thank you for waiting.
This man calling me like as if the host is there or something. Oh, wait a second. I mean, is it on Debate Talk for You or is it on the conference call situation? I'm confused. I'm gonna call Debate Talk for You. There's nobody there. But he's rushing me as if they're already on there, you know what I'm saying?
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Okay, must be here.
3, 4.
Oops. This is wild.
So what's going on now? What happened?
You ain't answer the phone.
Oh, my bad. I'll try again. I was taking care of the baby.
Oh. Lord have mercy.
I had a feeling you called while I was down.
It's like y'all ain't even in the debate and nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like Tazapanya sound like he's nervous. You sound nervous. You know, like what's y'all doing? Like we haven't had this debate 20 times already.
Man.
We done had lectures on it. We done had debates on it. There's nothing to be nervous about. All right, so I'm finna call the show DebateTalk4u, cause I think it's on DebateTalk4u instead of that conference call thing. And then I'm getting ready to call you, so answer the goddamn phone.
Yeah, it looks like that debate's about to start.
Yeah, I see.
Hey, shalom, boss. I see y'all was putting in work, man.
Welcome to Blogtalkradio. Please hold and you'll be able to
Yeah,
listen
we
to the
will.
show.
Thank you. Thank you. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, I can't get down with Faithful and Veckel and G-Man and Thank You Jesus and Carlos, whatever. I can't rock with them, man.
I was trying to watch your show last night, man. You had Alazar and all them brothers on there. Tazariak, I know he showed his face for a second. I figured he wouldn't be on there too long though. And Alvin and them brothers chopping it down about that James White joint. You know what I'm saying? That was a good build.
Yeah, they murdered that situation.
It ain't calling me.
Went to the voicemail again. Hang up again.
Are y'all having a problem calling into the show or something?
No, I was having a problem having Messiah answer the phone. What's wrong with your phone?
I didn't see it ring. Try it again.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call you first. Try that way.
He's already introducing the people.
There you go.
Okay, now hit mute, and I'm giving a call into the house show.
About to be a slaughter fest.
Alright, so let's check back with the team members right here. Team Flat Earth versus Team Global. And we'll see if their partners are here. Matter of fact, you guys arrived here. Press number one. And we'll bring you in. All the team members. You are now in the Tazapanya, I see Ron here. Everybody else, you got to press number one, okay? Let's see if there's a team members here. Let's go to 910-489. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Devar. I'm the backup for Flatheads.
What's going on, man? You feeling, brother?
All right, shalom.
Shalom, man. How you doing? Let me know a little bit about yourself, for those who don't know.
My name is Nazir Devar Emil Old Yasharal. I'm muted now. Oh yeah, okay. My name is Nazir Devar Emil Old Yasharal. I'm out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm the Crown Prince of Israel, the acting governor of North Carolina for Bram Nation. I am the president pro tem of New Jerusalem, and I have a little hangout show on YouTube. the channel is called Claim Your Inheritance. Claim Your Inheritance, because we have Israel has a treasure that the world powers are currently fighting over, and we want to reclaim it. But in order to reclaim that treasure, we have to have a mature, functioning government with the military, you know what I'm saying, and everything else that deals with government, commerce, and all the rest of that stuff. Appreciate that you allow me to introduce that.
Yeah, no problem. And when you get a chance to send me all those links to my inbox so I can share with people on the YouTube channel with the fire talk and then just so we can spread that out. I appreciate you being here, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And let's go to the shape first. So let's see who's here. 646-64301 speaking to. Hey, Shalom. This is Tasmania's partner. My name is Lindo, but I'm better known as Martin Luther III, fifth friend. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, man? How you doing, folks? I'm alright. Yeah, man. So I got to check with LeBron now. We got three here, right? Three petite platter. Yeah, hold on. I gotta check with LeBron real quick. Yeah, LeBron, are you there? Hold on one second. Yeah, LeBron, can y'all hear me? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, get any word from your partner? Yeah, look for the 704 number. 704. All right, yeah, I don't see him at all, man. I'm going down. Okay, I'm gonna continue to go down. Yeah, okay.
LeBron, he got scared.
I press number 1 to do.
Nah, he on there.
Still going down. Still scrolling down right there. I'll see if I can find him. But if you're out there, brother, press number 1 so the show started. Did he say he's calling in?
He said something about, yeah,
he said he was calling in.
Partner is not there yet.
So that's the case. We're gonna, of course, make it a one-on-one. That's a problem. Out here. Yeah, man. So trying to get things situated right.
Ron be the only dummy with heart. Every time.
Hey, yo, you know what's crazy?
What?
How come that messages won't load up on mine or yours?
Yeah, I'll be saying that with Ties Panya's thing does that a lot.
Okay, I got you. So lock that in.
So what?
I said Ties Panya's thing does that a lot.
All right, so we just waiting for it. How much time you need, LeBron? You want to do like maybe 4 minutes? Go ahead, let them brothers go ahead and go, man, and hopefully he'll be here when you get done. If not,
hopefully.
All right, so that's what we'll do. We'll just start off with
these niggas is whack. Whack job.
Come back to you. We'll get solo out.
Hey, they can't hear you?
No, I'm not on there.
I can hear you through the phone.
I was just a backup just in case Ben Lloyd didn't show up.
No, I said, can they hear you like talking right now? Because I can hear me and you on your phone.
Nah.
I was about to say, mine's on mute, and I can hear both of us talking through the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm muted on the show.
Look at the little homie in the fringes.
Yeah, that's cool. Super cool. I had to show it out.
Hey, send me that picture.
Alright, man. Post on there, man. I appreciate your help, man. No doubt. Alright, man. So I guess it's gonna be a team debate after all. Make it happen. Alright, well, here's the last show, guys. Like I said, I got a whole lot of followers for, 7. I'm gonna take it to the next level. Like that. But let's go to the phone line. We set up the timer and.
Oh, you're.
past few times that I've been on this debate. All right, a lot of people give me this answer that why does the earth being flat matter? And I just want to give a brief, answer to why it does matter. So, Esau, as Hebrew Israelites, is a liar and is a thief, and all they care about is money, power, control, and actually saving their face. So, if you were lying about something for 500 years, which you admitted, see, a lot of money has been made with this whole globe Earth theory. Take NASA for example. So that's billions of taxpayers' dollars going nowhere and doing absolutely nothing. That's like a perfect scam. And I wonder who's getting all that money. Maybe that's how they fund their agenda. And knowing how Esau works, they aren't likely to want to lose that game. If they came clean and admitted that they've been deceiving people about the perception of the reality of the earth, would they have to pay that money back to people with own budgets with the government? You got to understand that any lie can be justified by my mind. So television, magazines, through books, toys, anything.
Why you got an echo whenever you're
I'm talking about Mike.
Not only the fear, spinning fear kept perfectly symmetrical by some special force called gravity. That the earth is billions of years old. That each star you see outside at night is a sun of its own that has planets that rotate around its tube. That the earth is a third planet from the sun, spinning 1,000 miles per hour. Not only that, it's rotating around the sun in unison with 11 other planets at 67,000 miles per hour. The sun also isn't stationary under that solar system. It's spiraling through the Milky Way galaxy at 500,000 miles per hour. And the Milky Way galaxy alone is expanding into black space at 670 million miles per hour. This is established science. All right? This indoctrination has plugged out and indoctrinated and brainwashed the masses. It has led people to become atheists. It has led people to believe in a Big Bang. It has led people to accept geocentrism, which is sun worship. It's the belief that the earth and the planets revolve around the sun, and the sun is the center of the universe. When the Bible speaks of geocentrism, the Bible depicts the earth as the center of all celestial bodies. That globe, that earth being a sphere, has opened the door to many vain ideologies, mainly evolution. The globe earth paradigm has gave birth to a form of spirituality that's brainwashed people, that's controlled humanity, mainly by removing the Most High out of the equation and his intelligent design and replacing purposeful creation with unplanned cosmic coincidences in your solar system. All right, so by the powers that be, by them removing the earth as the motionless, stationary center of the universe, these powers have helped move us not only physically but metaphysically from a place of supreme importance to a standpoint that's meaningless, which is absolutely demonic. All right, it's self-serving. It's led the masses to reject moral principles and adopt a belief that life is pointless, meaningless. Not today if somebody says the earth is the center of the universe and that nothing moves and that the earth is flat, it's immediately outweighed by indoctrination of the globe due to how deep people have been conditioned. You learn about this globe before you can tie your shoes, because quite frankly, if the earth is a globe, then ideas of God, ideas of creation, and a purpose for human existence is unattractive, it's uninteresting. Just think about that. Like I said earlier, if the earth is just one of billions of planets revolving around billions of stars and billions of galaxies, then the ideas of God, the ideas of creation, and a specific purpose for human life and existence on this earth becomes questionable, it becomes debatable, it becomes unlikely. Why would you believe in a Bible on the earth that when you've been indoctrinated that there's billions of planets and billions of stars? That's my standpoint. So I'm going to let the brother finish talking, but through the process of debate, listen to what people say and actually do they believe it. Is it believable? You got the floor, man. All right, brother. I mean, you pretty much said everything that needs to be said in terms of the introduction. Our belief is that in terms of the positioning of the earth, we take up a geocentric model, and in terms of the shape of the earth, or at least the shape of the surface of the earth, we're taking the view that it is a flat earth plane. Outside of what Tasmania said, there's really not much else to explain. Once you take away heliocentrism from the opposition's argument, you pretty much underfoot every other argument that they have, whether that be Darwinian evolution, atheism, and there are about 2 or 3 others I think Tasmania had decided upon that are affected by the crumbling of the heliocentric position. So it is pretty much not much else to explain in the introduction.
Alright, once again, people, it's the beat. So we do the flat earth theology, fact and fiction. That's the beat that's going on right now. Alright, once again, people, it's the beat. So for you, the flat earth theology, fact and fiction. That's the beat that's going on right now. Team the Flat Earth, Team Global. The number is 646-716-732.
I'm just gonna listen to it on yours.
Show started.
Yeah, I put it on the. I went to I went to DebateTalk4u, but the sound is low.
On the website?
Yeah.
Man, Georgia, Uncle Cat, and then LeBron.
Let me play it on the website.
LeBron there to be a teammate and then
You said you about to play it?
It's not letting me play it on the website.
Oh, so I'm hearing.
Yeah, you know.
I'm hearing my speakers over on your side.
Let me see. Tell me if you can still hear it.
412-225 on my speaker.
No, I can't.
I'll tell you, brother, this is McDonald.
Why is it so low?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you feeling, brother? I'm well, brother. How you doing?
Got my speakers.
All right, man. So you ready to represent the Team Global? No doubt.
Okay, I can hear it.
In case you are
Holy shamoly, Shazam in the man. You got my dog come in.
It's on his team for real. Them niggas is about to get destroyed. Hey, hold on. Try muting your mic right quick.
All right.
First off,
Hold on a second.
I'll pray to the Most High God.
They about to get molly wow.
When you deal with these guys, it's basically based off of conveys that, you know, the earth is actually flat. So, you know, what I want to start with is this is kind of perception. I think the major thing is when you get
they're about to get their ass whooped.
The firmament of the heaven. And, you know, when you look at the
just
strong,
listen, man.
certain things that says
It's too late.
Solid.
Mute your mic and listen.
Major problem come in that because actually when you actually look at the Hebrew text and you actually look how they convey the Strongs and certain things.
Sir, why are you muting me?
You know, so basically, firmament from
the sound got to go into the show, into the hangout.
Basically means expanse.
I'm hearing doubles. Hold on.
The waters of the clouds. And also, when you also look up one of the characters that's in the Hebrew, once you begin to break the word down, firmament, and you go back to the root word, it means condensation. Condensation, one of the words is in there. So we're going to deal with that just later on. But what I want to bring out here is just we must understand that there are 3 heavens. And the scriptures clearly state that when it says, let's go to 2 Corinthians 12 and 2. 12 and 2. It says, I knew a man in Christ above 14 years, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell, nor of God. Such a one caught up to the 3rd heavens,
or the third heaven, basically. So we know that the usage in the early on that deals with Shemayim or Yim is early on in the scriptures of Genesis, and it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." We look at it and we see that it's in the plural. So we look at that there's levels of heaven. And actually, when you actually go to one of the scriptures, I believe it's Amos, I want to say 9 and 6, it talks about the levels of heaven just as well.
I gotta log in right quick. It's gonna be silent for a second. So I'm finna talk smack in the chat right now.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why I kept hearing double, but it sounded good playing through your speakers on this side.
Okay.
I turned off my debate talk for you link, and was listening through the Hangout.
I got it as loud as it can go.
It sounds good, man. I got it playing on the TV. Okay. Shit, I just lost the link.
Okay, back to the action. Got to be sure I can type on this live chat.
The war that took place with those deities that defied the Most High God before Adam came into his kingdom, or his kingdom was made for him, or the restoration of the earth. Now, when we jump back to Isaiah 40 and 22, Isaiah 40 and 2 says he stretcheth forth the heavens as a tent to be dwelt therein. Now, they will look at and say, well, it's a tent because it's a dome, but they miss the point when it says that he stretcheth forth the heavens as a tent is stretched forth to be dwelt therein. They miss the part when it says dwell therein. But then when we look at the scriptures in Revelations, when it says, rejoice ye that dwell in the heavens, and then we must realize that there are other solar systems that's out there, and
he just invented, he just added to the book, and the plays is gonna be added to his life.
Rather, if it's dealing with the man
he
or
said there are other solar systems in Revelation.
Because there are three heavens, you must realize that each one of these heavens are expansions, and they have what you call they are firmaments. Basically, they are expansions. So we're going to deal with that, because we're going to deal with the firmament that we see that they're told to fly in the open, and also the firmament we see where the stars reside at just as well. So there's plenty of text, and I'm mainly just waiting for these guys to pull out these scriptures, to examine these scriptures. That they say that the flat Earth is conveyed in. Joshua 10 just as well.
Gonna stay on the defensive. Watch this.
Stood still.
They need to be making the ballers show some type of evidence.
On the flat Earth model, as well as on the global model, it would cause a problem on both models. But because God is the author and he's a mathematician, then he works that out. He has turned the sundial backwards during the time of Hezekiah, and he also sped it up back again also just as well. So then also in Joshua's time, he made the sun just as well to stand still, and the moon to stand still from a perception. So when we look at it, we must realize that these texts are always from a perception and perspective of the people on how they conveyed things at that time. But once we start to realize these things, understand the earth and how it works, then we have to come up with a better explanation. And I think that's what actually happened.
In Revelation 22, I think.
You know, they had to convey the scriptures a little bit more and handle it a little bit more. You know, so I'm interested to hear what these guys got to say, though.
We done heard it 20 times. We done already told you. Revelation 22:18. I testify unto every man that hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these words, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. I just try to tell that man where you get solar systems in Revelation.
So we're gonna get that started. All right, so let's go back. Hold on. One of the team members from Flat Earth is missing. Then if you're out there, press number 1.
Oh Lord.
You got press number 1. Okay, there we go. I see you there.
I'm about to say, don't start calling me.
Get round 1 started, and then open up your phone lines. And go ahead.
Wait. Yeah. We're gonna have to do this right. And you know, as much as the brother just crucified him on his own self in that open statement, I still would like you to give him a few minutes in the early round to take his stand on the nature of the system in which the world resides in.
Right. He never expressed his position at all. He never pinned himself down to a position. So we're not going to do that, okay? We're not no rookies. You're going to establish your position and what you believe. That's what your introduction is for.
Well, actually, I made my...
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to allow your partner to speak right now?
Okay. You got Madad Komet in here. Yeah, I forgot the Madad, because I didn't know if Madad Komet was repping or did he know anything about the Flat Earth. But go ahead, Madad Komet.
Wow.
Oh, no doubt. Appreciate it, brother.
Disrespected this whole
I would just like to say that a lot of brothers that do believe in the Flat Earth, they say one reason the Earth can't be round is that it's because how the other people that's on the one part of it, they will fall off if it was round. But through observation, I kind of look at the moon. And if you look at the moon and you look at the landscape of the moon, you can see that the landscape is actually going over to where you can't see beyond your eye to a curvature shape, in my perspective from what I see. And to me, that alone shows that no matter how the earth is shaped, the Most High can do as will. And if you want to spin it like in the earth, he said he sees the earth over nothing, and he can do that as well. So I think that's when brothers make that claim, I think that claim is not well enough established. And but looking at the moon alone, and like G-Con mentioned, looking at different ancient societies, astronomy systems, everything was round and global in shape. So I think that's basically where I stand at this point.
All right, so let's bring back Team Flat Earth. Bring them back in. Again, we're going to start off round 1. It's going to be 6 minutes each. Round 1, all the way to round 5. So let's open it up. Yeah.
Let me give you an example real quick. My name is Tazapanya. I believe that the earth is flat, stationary, and everything in the celestials rotate around the earth, and the earth doesn't move. Your turn, guys.
Right. Pretty much what we're asking you is not to just put out your argument, but just establish, lay down the foundation of everything that you believe on your position. Where is the position of the earth in your model? Is there a solar system in your model? Where is the sun in position with that solar system in relation to your galaxy? You know, explain what it is you believe in the briefest of senses so that we can get this thing going.
Well,
your line's open. Everybody's line is open.
I was going to say, even if when you look at the sun, when we say the so-called sun goes down, you can see that it's not actually going down. It's just going to the other part of the earth, which I think a flat model can't show. Because to me, if the earth was flat, we should all be able to see the sun and the moon all at the same time. So I don't think that holds no weight.
Wow. Todd, do you mind if I grab that?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, you're dealing, when you're reading scripture, you're dealing with what is.
He still didn't allow him to establish his position.
Their eyewitness testimony. Eyewitness. Literally, what their eyeballs are witnessing.
I can't tell what's going on.
Yeah, see, he just said they told the bald heads twice to say, to state your model. Okay, so is the sun in the center of the solar system, and it's gigantic, where 1 million Earths can fit into the sun, and all the other planets are swirling around it, like the classic model that we grew up learning, or what? What is it? So they continue to put the flatheads on the defensive by saying your model doesn't stand because of these things that I don't understand. And they should have kept them to the fire and saying, please state your model.
And you're looking down the road. It appears that the street lamps get closer to the road the further that you get away. But in reality, we know that that's not the case. Okay? That is called the law of perspective. It's the same thing with the sun. The sun has its circuit over the earth, and as it moves away from your position, it seems as if it's setting. Okay? It's very simple. Not rocket science.
Thank you. Son, them guys.
I want you, brother, to establish, does the earth move? Does it have a rotation? Is the sun in the center? Is the sun bigger than the earth? Is the earth bigger than the sun? That's we just want a quick foundation to get into the debate so we can know your side. All right, so I didn't start the time yet. So LaRon and my brother Quebec, y'all can go ahead and
I actually established that early on. Somebody got to moving around in the back. They might got to stop moving around a little bit.
Yeah, gotta mute your mic.
They might. Yeah, I actually established my position. The model. I'm global. That's my position. So what else do I need to establish? I mean, I'm waiting on y'all to go with the go ahead. Prove your scriptures out.
So everything that's established, like the Earth spins at a 23.4 degree axis and 1,000 miles per hour eastward, and it spins around with the sun around the other planet 67,000 miles per hour, and the sun is spiraling through a Milky Way galaxy 500,000 miles per hour. And the Milky Way galaxy is expanding into infinity space at 670 million miles per hour. That's what you agree with.
All right. Yeah. You say what?
Now go ahead, LaRon. My fault.
Yeah. Basically, once again, I stated my position. Now, if you want to try to push me into a paradigm to where that's what you want to do, then you can. But I specifically said that you're not going to find anything in these scriptures that says that the earth is your model. So I'm telling you, if you find it, then you need to put it forth. So I don't know anything about far as dealing with on the scientific matter, but I do have some questions for you brothers that I have to ask about what you're putting forth. But I stated, and it's clear for everybody listening, in this Bible, which I want you to go, you're not going to find it. So let's get to it. That's all I'm saying. The earth is not flat, and it does not state that in this Bible. So let's get to it. I understand you want to push your paradigm, and you got your little quotes that you already got together that you've been studying on. But no, we're going to deal with this text. Now, if you want to go to your scientific perspective, then I have questions about that I want to ask you guys about that.
All right, so now that we got that all out, let's get these rounds started. All right, so let's go to Team Flat Earth once again. I guess it's going to be 6 minutes each. Let's get it cracking. Let's get that Team Flat Earth you got.
All right, so I'm just going to give everybody a basic scriptural breakdown that's brief, and then I'm going to let the brother Van go, and if I have time back, I'll come back in. So basically, from the understanding of the scriptures, the earth is flat, all right? And there's a hemispheric-shaped dome on top of the earth, right? And it's referred to in the scriptures as the firmament. All right, so if you go to Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 22, it reads, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretches out the heavens as a curtain and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in." When you go into this word for circle, It's Strong's H2329. And the problem is when brothers go into this Hebrew, they pick and choose definitions to fit their doctrine. When you look at everything, it's clear as day. So when you look at Strong's H2329, and you look at the outline of biblical uses, the first definitions used are circle, circuit, and compass. These are not definitions of what the word means. These are the words that it's used in the scriptures with Strong's H2329. So if you go to Job 22:14, that same word is there, and it's used in compass. You go to Proverbs 8:27, and it's showing a circuit. All right. So when you look at the second definition, it says the vault of the heavens. When you look at the bottom, it says circle, sphere, use of the art or vault of the sky. Brothers will just go to the word sphere and just have tunnel vision and be ignorant of everything else that's shown. So once you see circle, sphere, use of the art, vault of the sky, what is that art, vault of the sky? It's talking about the firmament in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. When you go to the firmament in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, it says extended surface, solid, expand, firmament, right? Flat as base support, right? And then when you go to the Genius Hebrew Chaldean lexicon, and it shows you the definition for which is used in the scriptures. It says Genesis 1 and 14, 15, 17, and 20. The firmament of heaven spread out like a hemisphere above the earth. A hemisphere is half of a sphere. Two hemispheres make up one sphere. How in the hell can the earth be shaped like a globe when the firmament is the shape of a hemisphere and you put a hemisphere on top of the globe? No, you put a hemisphere on a flat surface. So when you go back to Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22, I don't know how brothers can't see how we get this in the scriptures. It says he stretched out the heavens as a curtain, as a tent to dwell in. What are the shape of tents? If you Google a tent, it's in a hemisphere shape. You put tents on flat surfaces. It's simple. The scripture says there's nothing new under the sun. That under the sun is in reference to geocentrism with that sun inside the firmament. Because in Genesis 1 and 14, he places the sun and the moon and the stars inside the firmament. He didn't place no so-called planets or landable dwelling places inside of the firmament. All right, the sun and the moon is inside of our atmosphere, and the fallacy that these brothers have is that they're idolaters and they follow sun worship. So the sun has to be 400 times the size of the earth, which is why that brother says if the earth is flat, the sun will light up everything. No, it's based on perspective. All right, the sun is not 93.5 million miles away and millions of miles in circumference. It's right above your head, and it's a local luminary. You got it, man.
All right, so pretty much, when we're reading, what is it that you mentioned, Dr. Fani? Isaiah 4 and 22? 40 and 20. All right, so when he sits above the circle of the earth, this is a very common mistake that people make, and it's not to insult anyone's intelligence, but it can happen. It's a failure in basic geometry, okay? Understanding the difference between what is two-dimensional and what is three-dimensional. So when he says he's sitting above the circle of the earth, we understand that you can draw a circle on a flat piece of paper and that flat circle is still round, okay? That is common sense, okay? So a circle is two-dimensional. It's a ball. It's not a ball. A sphere is a ball. And that's the model that heliocentric practitioners are putting forth, which they have no observational evidence for whatsoever. Not even a sliver of evidence. Okay, so if Moranji is going to bring up his evidence, he's going to have to come strictly out of the scriptures, which we don't see that he can do in any way, shape, or form. The scriptures does not say anything about planets. The scriptures does not acknowledge axis and orbital rotation. Tazafani, what's that verse where the earth is immovable?
The earth is immovable. 1 Chronicles 16 and 30.
Okay, so if the earth is immovable, okay, that's plain English. There's no way to get around that. That means there's no orbital rotation and there's no axis rotation. That is what immovable means. That's plain English. Guys, do we have anything on that in Hebrew, just in case they want to do that, play that game? I don't have it right now, but I can have it by the next time we come up. We get it in? Maybe 3 and 1, yeah, I'll get it. Okay. So, how much time we got? Yeah, so our time I'm about to run out. All right, so watch for conjecture. Conjecture is pushing the doctrine with incomplete information. Don't twist scriptures. Don't go somewhere and read it and then throw in an actual orbital rotation because the earth is moving. All right, so that's, we pulled your card. It's up.
What happened?
We're still in round one.
I'm trying to get it as loud as I can get it.
5 rounds. Let's go to Team Global.
Sounds good on my side.
Okay.
Ron and Ron's line. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to address 2 of the points that brother made. First was he talked about this glass dome. There's no way possible a glass dome could be over the earth because we got 1,000-pound meteorites that have entered into the earth and formed craters all over earth. We just seen one in Russia a few years ago that they thought was a start of a war, but it was not. It was actually a fireball entering into the earth. So that right there shatters the glass dome theory, you know. And as far as the brother said the earth is unmovable, when we look at Genesis, when they talk about the land came up out of the waters, and certain when you go to certain definitions, it refers to that land as the earth as well. So to me, I think they're taking it out of context and it was talking about the earth is unmovable. It's talking about the land that we own. Because we know an earthquake can make it shake and make it move as well. So, but to my point, I think they took that out of context when they say that.
Right. And also I want to bring out Isaiah 40 and 22. It says, have ye not known? This is 21. Have ye not known? Have ye not heard? Have it not been told you from the beginning? Have ye not understood from the foundations of the earth? Excuse me. He says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle, right? Now, he is definitely right. That circle is translated a circuit, a circle compassive, but also it's also translated in certain texts as a horizon. So when we look at it, right, the Bible specifically says, and he's specifically telling them that it is he that sits on the horizon of the earth, basically. In other words, when the scriptures clearly tells us that the Lord is foreshadowed as a sun and a shield, when you're dealing with sun worshipers, he's telling them that, hey, look,
the Lord sits on the horizon.
Where you get that from? I ain't making up shit. Right? You first one to say that shit.
This guy is hilarious. Oh my gosh. I know Kevin is angry about this. Come on, man. My computer ain't computing. What? What is this thing doing? Oh my God.
You want me to switch to mine? I got it up.
Yeah, please. Lord, this thing.
Can you hear?
These layers or these stories could be dwelt therein as a tent.
Can you hear it fine?
Solar systems, when I tell you about other life, existing life is outside of man, or dealing with angelical beings, thrones, and dominions, or principalities, this is what the biblical text is actually trying to demonstrate to us. So these brothers are not breaking down these scriptures properly. And also, when we look at certain words, for instance, when we look at certain words when it says firmament, let's look up firmament real quick. Because a lot of these things which people start to find out is from conception or their perspective that they added in there, and it's actually in parentheses letting you know that they actually added these things in there. So when you look up firmament, right, the word firmament is H7549 and it's Rakio, right? And it's an extended surface. Now, if you look at it, the word solid there is in parentheses. And
you don't want to read that flat word.
But later on, as you look at other texts, when the scholars came back to relook at it, doing they put it as a expanse, basically. So let me jump over to Genesis and break something down in Genesis real quick, because I think that we got it mixed up a little bit in these brothers' mind. They trying to bring out something that's not actually
They
there.
keep changing firmament to the expanse of the entire infinite universe.
Yeah, you can hear it good on my side.
And darkness was upon the earth.
Yes.
Earth was without form, whatever. And it says, and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God, let's jump down. It says, the God said, let there be a firmament or an expanse in the midst.
Watch how they don't zero in on his remix of the expanse.
You gotta understand, in order for there to rain,
and zero in on the lies that he brings out.
Has to be what you call vaporization, and that's through the gases. And the gases they come, they turn into when they rise up, they turn into a liquid form through condensation. And so once they rain back down, therefore that's how you have the cycle. So we see this also in the text when you read Genesis. In the
he said the sun was a solid. Remember?
Yeah, I remember he said that shit. We got it on tape.
Rain before the flood, but the scripture not say that. It just said it basically tells you that he made a mist or a vapor come up. Now we look at this text right here. What it's basically telling us is that God separated or made an expansion between the clouds that will give down the rain, and he made it an expansion.
That's not what it says.
And create the atmosphere before he also put it in the heavens, the sun and the stars and the moons. So once he put them back into orbit, after he made them to restored them in the book of Genesis when he said, let there be light, because I believe God restored the light to cause day and evening, basically, as the scripture says it. Day and evening is made by the earth spinning on its axis, basically. This is how the earth spin on its axis, and it caused a source of light is stationed there.
Yeah, cut that shit off. That is not in the Bible at all. It was day and night before there was dry ground.
Yes.
Get the hell out of here.
Oh man.
All right, so
he's gotten worse. He's gotten worse since he was on our show.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So this is one of our doctrines right here, the flat earth. Come in here and talk to us about it if you want to. Or talk to us about the virgin birth if you want to. And talk to us about whatever you want to. Because we're on the grill tonight. We're just listening to the flathead debate because it's entertaining.
So according to your own argument, you would have to account for that land movement. Okay, according to your own position. So that's not even a good argument to say. I just want to get that out the way. I'm gonna let Al go ahead and I'll turn.
All right, so once again, pure conjecture or pure scripture twisting. So it's key to listen to what brother said. This brother mentioned meteorite, which you cannot prove and pull a valid source to prove a meteorite or to prove that the earth is in any danger from anything in the celestial bodies to come down on the earth. All right. The brother talking about vaporization. He's talking about everything outside of the fact of proving that the earth is a sphere. All right. There's no way he can go into a scripture and show evidence of a globe with the sun in the center of his imaginary solar system. He has to demonstrate that. You know, he cannot. And he brought up the definition in Genesis 1 and 14 of the word firmament. And once again, like I said before, he pick and choose. If you go into the Hebrew Chaldean lexicon, it says firmament of heaven spread out like a hemisphere above the earth. That's the understanding when you break it down of it is he that sitteth above the circle of the earth. It's not a hard thing to grasp. All right? So with this globe, and you have to understand that the globe defeats itself scientifically. Water's job is to remain level, right? And these brothers have to explain how millions of tons of water is kept perfectly symmetrical onto this globe by force-by gravity, so little birds can get up and fly. You know, we know that rivers flow down to the ocean to sea level, but on the globe, how would water flow down to the ocean if the oceans had an incline due to the curvature of it being a sphere? That doesn't make sense. These brothers can't prove this. the oceans would destroy the land completely if the earth was round and somehow the water managed to stick to the surface. Right? If that's the case, rivers would constantly push on the land until they cut right through it. You know, that's how water would behave if it's on the slope and it meets a barrier in its way. Right? That means if there's an incline to the water, you wouldn't even need wind to sail. Right. If there's an incline to the water, you wouldn't even need wind to sail. You would just go down with the flow on your globe. You know, because that round surface gives you the incline, so it doesn't make sense. You can go to the ocean, you can look as far as you can see, and the ocean is going to remain flat because water's job is to remain flat. All right?
That's called the physics of water for anybody who wants to look that up. Physics of water. Okay, they have various experiments. Also, I don't mean to cut you, Todd. I just wanted to chime in terms of the circuit, how he's saying that we cannot prove a flat plane or flat earth geocentrism. That's false. And I think one of the biggest problems that people in general have, especially the Black community, is the reading comprehension and context. Okay, you can only get context out of having reading comprehension. So when you're understanding that a circle from the Most High's position, if he's seated on top of us, he's looking down, he sees a circle. You understand? The circle of the earth. Okay, just like if you have a race car track, a little child's race car track, then the circle will pretend that's the circuit of the sun and the moon, and then you're looking down at it. Okay, not a simple observation. Yeah, go ahead, bring it out.
This is Job chapter 28, verse 24. For he looketh to the end of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven. That's geocentrism in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. He just said about the flat earth. The earth will be flat, and the sun circumnavigates above the earth. I thought the scripture said there's nothing new under the sun. It didn't say he sees under and around the whole heaven. It says he sees under the heavens.
Also, I just wanted to question as well, how is it a trick on perception or a play on perception for Joshua to have stopped the sun in the middle of the sky? How are you going to trick the world's perception? Because this is an account that is mentioned in other cultures. So how are you going to get other cultures to believe in the sun standing still in the sky, or to appear to stand still in the sky? That's impossible, my friend. That's just because your model is wrong. The earth is not spinning and it's not moving. It's the celestial bodies in the sky as we observe. If nobody told you when you were small that you were on a spinning ball and that ball is spinning, spinning around the sun, and the sun is spinning around the center of the galaxy, and yada yada and so forth, you would not observe that. You would not know to believe that. When you walk outside, you look up in the sky, you see the sun and you see the moon moving. You see the constellation moving. You do not feel any movement. Okay? It's common sense. How are you trading in your 5 senses for what man is coming? That's ridiculous. You can go ahead.
This is
my bad, these white folks out there shooting fireworks and shit.
Oh, that's at your house?
Yeah.
All right, so we
got the windows open because it's so hot.
Round 2. Let me open up Team Global's line. Team Global. And you guys can go ahead.
So go ahead. Okay, I was just gonna say, I'll wait. Go ahead.
Here go Matt Don again.
Now, one of the things that we look at, he used when it says the ends of the earth. Now, when he goes to those texts, which he hasn't went to no text yet, when you start to look at those texts, you start to realize that those texts is all already talking about land just as well. They could be talking about land just as well. And then when you talk about the 4 corners, really dealing with east, west, and south and north, basically. So one of the things we want to bring out is let's look at, so whenever these guys make these claims, you have to basically look at the usage of a lot of these words and where they're used at, so we can basically look at and see what they're talking about and what they're trying to convey. And so I find that a lot of these guys, what they're doing is they're looking at certain usages and also certain Bible translations, and they translate certain stuff a certain way, and then they go and they run with it without doing their homework. So with all the let's look at some of these usages of when you say from the ends of the earth, basically. Let's look at some of those usages. Okay, we have one that's in 1 Samuel 2:10, when it says, "Those who contend with the Lord will be shattered against them. He will thunder in the heavens. The Lord will judge the ends of the earth, and he will give strength to his king and will exalt the horn of his anointed." So basically, as we can see, the people who he's going to judge, basically, the earth is also called as being sometimes as peoples or as land, because they're in those lands. So he's going to judge as far as man have come to, basically. Another usage that we look at is also Psalms 22 and 27, when it says, "The ends of the earth will remember.
There's no end on a ball.
The Lord, and all the families of the nations will worship you." So when we look at these terms and this usage that we see, it's basically stating, as we can look at it and say, that a lot of these things that's being stated is basically dealing with people just as well. And also, I think he quoted a scripture that was in Chronicles earlier, and the scripture that he quoted that was in Chronicles was kind of shaky too, just as well, and not so flat like he thought it was. And I really don't remember what scripture it was, but it talked about the earth will be unmovable. A lot of those scriptures that we see, it's basically talking about the world. Because the world, you have what you call the arid, that's dealing with the land or the earth, and then you also have the world there too. And what it's saying is the earth, the world will not be shaken or movable. Basically they will be stable and at peace, because guess who's sitting on the throne? The Most High will be sitting on the throne. So in his divine government, there will be no shaky or no movable type of world or system. Now, when we look at it, he says, once have he shaken the earth and the heavens, and then he would shake it once more again. So basically, what he's meaning by that is that these things have to be shaken or basically shook and purged, basically, to bring forth a kingdom. So, the scriptures that these guys is using, but for time's sake, is not solid at all. Once again, when you talk about the firmament, or when you talk about the horizon of different things, he's dealing with them from a perspective of showing them that all the heavens and all these things was created by him, even the atmosphere. And as I stated once before, is the only water that we see that's above the expanse is the water that comes down through vaporization and condensation. That's the only water we see. So even in Moses, even in when Moses was writing about the flood, in order for there to be some vaporization and also condensation, there would have to be some the gas coming up and then turning into a liquid form. So that's the only water we see up there. As far as the dome that they're saying that's solid and all of that, and they saying they shoot at the dome. If it's attached to the earth, I would think that it's shaking up a little bit, and meteors coming to this earth all the time, and also, it's just weird. Where do meteors and asteroids come from? And then they made a pure nickel. So are you saying there's a dome that's made of pure nickel? That we would be cooked in this place just in that case. So go ahead, brother Malcolm.
I just was gonna say, man, like I referred to before, we can look at the moon, man, and we can look at the landscape on the moon, and we can see how the landscape is actually going around the curvature. Well, what I say, what you can't see the other part of. So if the Most High can do the moon like that, and everything ain't falling off of it, and we can see that landscape on it is going into the curvature of the part of the moon, the other side of the moon, they call it the dark side, which we can't see. So the earth can be a globe. The Most High can do what he wants. And I think a lot of them brothers, they look at the Most High from man's perspective, and they think just because the earth is flat, that's how the Most High gonna see everything. They limit it what the Most High can do. If the earth was, you know it's a globe. Well, I think I know it's a globe, but the Most High can speak for whatever ain't he wants to. So I don't limit to that, because he said the ends of the earth because that's the reason why the earth is flat. Like he's gonna be able to see everything from one end to the other end. I think they limit the ability of the Most High from that perspective. But I could go back to the moon theory and go back to the ancient because I trust the ancient more than I do modern science, and I think science is the enemy of the Most High.
That ain't true.
They need to stop playing around and pull that script.
That's the problem. And
Madon's only giving the I think. Yes, in fact.
Theology, black prediction debate. Once again, it's the last episode of the debate talking for Summer Break. We're gonna come back on the air September 23rd, Friday, September 23rd. So keep a lock right here. Again, we're gonna go to the Q&A later on. But listening audience out there can chime in. The number is 646-716-7320. Simply press number 1 and we'll add to the conversation later on. I'll be right back. I see people already pressing number 1, standing by, waiting for the Q&A segment. They have their questions and they're ready to, ask either Team Flat Earth or Team Global their questions. So again, if you have a question, you want your voice to be heard live, again, call in and stand by. The number is 646-716-7320. So now we're going to start round 3. We're going to start round 3 of this rebuttal part of this debate. Well, let's go to Team Flat Earth once again. Open up the phone lines and go ahead.
All right, once again, this brother has not provided one scripture to back his side. He's too busy to grasp to the understanding of our perception of the scriptures. He has not proven one thing. He said it's based on perception. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 5. It says, "For this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens of old and the earth standing out of the water." All right, so the earth is in the water according to the scriptures. All right, and not the water part of the earth as your globe. All right, so the earth is out of the water. All right, so that makes sense when I brought up to you about sea level. It would make sense that the land is elevated and the water level was lower, sea level, than the land. That would make sense of why rivers went into the sea. All right, so once again, the brother is not contextualizing the scriptures. All right, if you can go to Isaiah chapter 40 and read it, there's so many different versions and it's still saying the exact same thing. All right, the International Standard Version says, "He is the one who sits above the depths of the earth, and the inhabitants are as grasshoppers. He is the one that stretches the heavens like a curtain and spreads it like a tent to dwell in." All right, New American Standard. "It is he that sits above the vaults of the earth." So once again, he still didn't go to Rocky and read Hemisphere and make sense of that. All right, you can go to so many different versions of the scriptures, and it shows you that the earth is in the dome. Amos chapter 9, verse 6. If you go to Amos chapter 9, verse 6, let me read it for you. It says, "It is he that buildeth his stories in the heavens, and hath founded his truth in the earth." All right, when you go to the Hebrew for that word truth, it's Strong's 892, aguda. And when you look in the Chaldean lexicon, it shows you the usage of the meanings of the many meanings of the word in context to when it's used. All right, before it says arch vaulted work, use of the vault of heaven, Amos 9 and 6. When you go to Bible Hub and type in Amos 9 and 6, you see these different translations, which is going to the Hebrew to use different words to make it easier to read. When you go to Amos chapter 9 and verse 47, it says, New American Standard Bible, "The one who builds upper chambers in the heavens and has founded his vaulted dome over the earth." So the problem is the brother doesn't know how to contextualize even to the equivalent of a biblical scholar that translates the Bible to make it easier to read. So the brother is incorrect. He has not provided any scripture to prove any claim that he stood on. He didn't even want to say what he stood on in the beginning. All right, so I'm gonna let you take it, man.
All right, yeah, I mean, there's pretty much not much to go through because I think what we have here is a great representation of what happens in the general public, and at least what I come across a lot is a lack of understanding on both positions on what heliocentrism is and its history, as well as geocentrism and its history. So if you don't even understand the two principles, one which you claim to believe in and the other which you're arguing against, and two, you're not applying the proper context and therefore reading comprehension scriptures, you're not going to be well equipped to do battle with the entire Panya in terms of this type of debate. I mean, in terms of the ancient cultures, we have many ancient references. If in fact the majority of the ancients believe that the earth is flat, okay, and that there was a dome encasing all of us in it, like the damn Truman Show, okay. So, I mean, I don't even know what else to say. We brought out so many scriptures for geocentrism and the flat earth, and we haven't heard one single scripture, again, not one.
So let's just cut him on another premise. Because he said that the earth rotates before our time is up. He said the earth has rotation. All right, so the sundial, for example, is an old ancient instrument used to measure time. It dates back to ancient Egypt, all right, around 1500 BC. It was used in Greece, it was used in Rome, it was used in Central Europe, and it was most commonly used to determine time even after the mechanical clock was developed in the 14th century. The sundial was actually used to check and adjust time on mechanical clocks until the late into the 19th century. All right, so it's an ancient instrument used to show we live on a stationary flat plane, and it's the sun that moves on us. All right, how does the sundial work correctly on a spinning ball that's also spinning around the sun and still correctly measure time? Not to mention, it was used in the late 19th century to correct mechanical clocks. The ancient Egyptians believed the earth was flat. They believed the sky was supported by 4 pixel mountains and the sun was carried down the both from east to west. All right, Chinese people believed the sky was a round dome surrounding a flat-shaped earth. All right, the ocean goes all around the earth, and the sun circumnavigates the earth. All right. In ancient India, it was believed that the earth was a circular disc surrounded by the ocean. In the center of the world was a mountain. All right, the sun goes around the mountain once a day. All right, in the evening, the sun goes behind the western side of the mountain, and it travels behind the mountain at night. So what I'm saying is, all these cultures got flood stories in the scriptures, and they also got flat earth testimonies in their historical records. So if you don't believe their documentation on the flood, you got to believe it with the flat earth. All right, the flat earth was brought to you by the Greeks. All right, and it was not a belief of our ancestors. The flat earth is far much one of the most provable doctrines found in the scriptures. All right, but the problem is reading comprehension. You got it.
Right. I mean, just the word in itself, heliocentrism, sun-centered worship. Come. Round 3, y'all. Session is debate. You're gonna go to Team Global now. Team Global, open up the phone lines, and you can go ahead.
Yeah. When you also look at Amos 9:6, right? Let's look up a couple of translations. You know, that we see. You know, I think these brothers, they run with translations, and they don't really look at the words, the other usage at. But since they want to deal with translations, let's look at these translations when we talk about the word Buddha, right? Now, it says, this is the King James version. It says, "It is he that buildeth his stories in the heavens," which means basically levels of heavens, "and have founded his truth in the earth." Because remember I told y'all that Paul said he was called to the third heaven, which they have yet to explain. It says, "He who holds his lofty place in the heavens and set its foundation on the earth," in Amos 9:6 in the NIV. So it says, "He who holds his lofty place," because that's what heaven means. It actually means who builds his lofty place. It's a lofty place. That's what it is. So when you look at the heavens, you look at the different planets or solar systems, these are what you call lofty places. And earth is also an extension of heaven, basically. So it's basically considered a lofty place or paradise or enclosure just as well, as the scripture tells us when it does Eden. It says that so he extended his lofty place. And it says, "In the heavens and set its foundation on the earth." This is Amos 9:6, the NIV. It says, "He built his place in the heavens and let its foundations rest on the earth." This is the CEV translation. It says, "He that buildeth his accession in heaven and have founded his bundle upon the earth. This is the DRV translation. And then last but not least, it says, it is he that builds his ascent up to the sky and establishes his promise on the earth. And this is in the LXX. This is the Septuagint. This is one of the oldest that we have currently right now in the Septuagint. It says, and establishes his promises or his promise on the earth. Now, the Hebrew word is in question is a Buddha, meaning a band one. Band one uses bands as and also used one time and bunch one. It says the other translations that we see are used for the word is foundation in the NIV or truth. Now, when we look at one of the verses that mentioned, one of the translations that mentioned the dome that raises objections is the NASB, New American Standard Bible translation, which I think is off base because the other doesn't validate that, you know. So once again, that we got people coming in.
I said, love the NIV.
You know it.
Strong that translate from a perspective at that time what they thought that it was. But now, when you have the newer translations, they translate the firmament as expanse, basically, because they know also that at one part of time that even though we see firmament there, that how do you get in the scriptures when it says, and let the birds fly in the open firmament? So when you get in scriptures like that, you have to realize that the open firmament is nothing but what we see as the basically what we can touch and see right now. What we can, basically see the storms, the clouds, and different things, and we see the expansion that they fly in. The bird surely does not fly above the clouds, but they fly, up under the clouds, which is the open firmament, basically, the open expanse. And above there is what we see as the water. So the different scriptures that we see these guys using is way kind of off base and kind of ridiculous or whatever. So then also I want to bring out, I find it odd that, when we deal with eclipses, how does that work on the flat Earth model? How do you get a lunar a lunar or a solar eclipse? How do you get those things?
How many times we explained that to him?
We have a red moon that takes place, and also the phases of the moon. The time that if I'm in Missouri and I see that there is a solar eclipse, right, or what is called a lunar eclipse,
got no memory.
Missouri, then you will have to given for the evening. It's not over in the east. You wouldn't see it.
Or he thinks it's still a good argument.
They don't have light over there. They don't have a lesser light over there. So it's kind of weird. And then also they say that the moon or the sun is 3,000 miles above the earth, and that's kind of ridiculous within itself, because even with that, if it was that close above the earth, we definitely would know that.
Yeah, cut that off.
Seen during the eclipse, no moon will be on the other side of the earth. So it's just kind of funny that they're doing it. And when you look at their model, the flat earth model, how do they have solar eclipses? How do they have lunar eclipses? That's a question to ask. I think they got it wrong about the firmament. Why hasn't he dealt with the three layers that Paul talked about, the three heavens? He hasn't dealt with any of that yet. So scripturally, I find no model that they can use the flat earth to explain what a solar or lunar is. And
earth is heaven, firmament's heaven, heaven is heaven,
the moon and the Sabbath and stuff like that. So these guys are really odd. Go ahead, bro.
I just want to say, the brother saying how come the earth is a globe about the water and whatever. But we can go to Hebrews 1:3 when it says,
he said nothing about
sustaining all things by his powerful word. So by that alone, the Most High can keep everything sustained as well, And we go to Hebrews 11:3.
Yeah, turn that off. Cut that off.
Nah, they don't get it.
This is terrible.
Yeah, they think as long as they're talking, that they're making good arguments.
They should have let us debate against them niggas.
646-716-7220.
Been over a long time.
Right now.
Tazapanya and Ben's last round was kind of weak.
So let's open it up with
Tazapanya, what you have to do is let some of the information breathe.
They ain't breaking the scripture down though. They should have went through the whole creation from the beginning. You know, I knock their heads out with that creation, especially the waters above and the waters below. You keep mentioning that, and they ain't touching it.
There's a firmament in between the waters below and the waters above.
I'll bang their head up with the blue sky. The fact that it's blue all the time because it's water.
Not an expand.
So, I mean, trying to think what else there is really to bring up.
Hey, see, they getting weak.
Wow. How do you run out of information?
I mean, they're not giving us much really to work with, brother. We haven't heard any verses once again to justify any of their belief systems. We'd at least like to see a verse for axis or orbital rotation. We'd like to see a verse. Yeah, you there?
Yeah,
I can hear you now. I
want to come in and cut everything he said and dagging himself. So, if he didn't say it, but he believed it, I'm just going to assume that the sun's diameter is 400 times greater than the moon, and that the sun is 400 times farther away than the moon. So, according to globe theory, a lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, earth, and moon are on a direct line like three bowling balls. All right, but it is on record that since the 15th century, over 50 eclipses have occurred while both the sun and moon have been visible above the horizon. All right, that destroys what you just said, LeBron. All right, it's an assumption and a supposed proof of the Earth's shape somehow that heliocentrists claim that these lunar eclipses and solar eclipses are caused by the shadow of a globe Earth occulting a moon. All right, the idea that the sun and moon and the Earth line up like three perfect bowling balls. All right, so the sun's light can cast shadow on the moon. All right, the sun has to be bigger than the moon. All right, and bigger than the Earth, and the Earth has to be bigger than the moon. This is heliocentrism. All right, so the sunlight casts the Earth's shadow onto the moon. Unfortunately, the explanation is completely invalid due to.
Can you hear Tazapanya?
Happen all the time. Right? So a lunar eclipse happens basically when the sun and moon cross paths while circumnavigating the Earth. That's why it's so that's why it's easily estimated. Even
what about now?
Moon. All right, so if he's gonna subscribe to lunar eclipses billion balls, then he has a lot to explain. He has to explain that the moon phases are caused by that same phenomenon. Okay, but you can't take three perfect tennis balls and line them up and show you the first quarter moon phase, the last quarter moon phase, when the moon is 50% illuminated with a straight line down through it. All right, so the moon is translucent. The scriptures speak of the moon being a light. All right, the sun, moon, the light by night.
Not
incorrect. You just got totally.
Go to the scripture, Tazapanya.
Yeah. Focusing on them, trying to convince them. I warned them today. I said, don't try to convince them. Talk to the audience. You see how calm the opponents are? That's a tactic. That's a strategy.
From Albert Einstein in regards to the motion of the earth. So this is by physicist Bernard Yasse. Hey, Joe, can I interject real quick just before you read it? I just want to read it. All right, this is Sirach chapter 43 and verse 6. All right, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of time and a sign of the world. From the moon is a sign of peace, a light that decreases in her perfection.
There you go.
We know that the moon starts from the new moon when it's barely visible, and it goes to a perfection point 15 days later called the full moon, and it decreases in her perfection. The month is called after her name.
That's why you can't see it when it's a new moon.
The phases of the moon, all right, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the order above, shining in the firmament of heaven, inside the firmament. You got it.
All right, cool. So I'm going to read you two. Physicist Bernard Jaffe, the data of the Michelson-Morley experiment were almost unbelievable. There was only one other possible conclusion to draw, that the Earth was at rest. This is Albert Einstein. I have come to believe that the motion of the Earth cannot be detected by any optical experiment, okay, any scientific method-based experiment, though the Earth is revolving around the sun. But he still makes the assumption, even though he doesn't have any observational evidence. This is physicist Bernard Cohen. There is no planetary observation by which we on Earth can prove that the Earth is moving in an orbit around the sun. This is physicist Adolf Baker. The failure of the Michelson-Morley experiment to observe different speeds of light at different times of the year suggested that the Earth must be at rest. It was therefore the preferred frame for measuring absolute motion in space. Yet we have known since Galileo that the Earth is not the center of the universe. Why should we be at rest in space? See, he has a conundrum because the popular belief with Galileo at the time was that the Earth was not the center. But all the evidence failed to prove that. Okay, the Earth is at the center. We're the center of everything. The Most High created everything, and this is how, or one of the best ways we can get newbies and new people to come to the scripture. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. That point.
All right, and another.
Come on, Ak, where you at? You ran out.
This is because their ideology away from the scripture.
We ran out of time.
Round four of the rebuttal session of this debate. Technology back to fiction. What do you guys think about this right now? You guys take down your notes. And we're going to hear from you guys later on with the Q&A segment. Again, you know that number is 646-716-7320. Team debate for those who joined in. So we're going to go back to Team Global right about now. Let's go to Team Global. And open the phone lines and go ahead.
Go ahead, if you got some seconds. You know, I go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the brother made a statement talking about the moon was a reflection of the world. So if I'm gonna use that, if he's given that, I'm gonna say when I look at the moon, the reflection that I get, especially the harvest moon, what I be seeing down here in the south, I see landmass going over to the what they call the dark side of the moon, which to me can look like a ball. And I went to Hebrews 1 and 3, where it says the Most High basically saying all things by a powerful word. So that alone can show me and prove to me that the earth can be a globe. But the Most High definitely says Hebrews 1 and 3. He's sustaining all things by a powerful word. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and that's good you said that because you know, they go to scriptures like when it says pillars of heaven, and they go to those scriptures and they misquote those scriptures because when you look at pillars of heaven, what pillars of heaven actually mean is mountains, basically. So they take these scriptures out of context when we look at it, and then also, you know, they'll tell you that pillars of heaven that stands the earth up, but when you even look at modern let's say if I want to make a highway or whatever, you look at the pillars that hold the highway up, it's always on some type of foundation up under it. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at those things, we must look at that the Most High said that it's His word is sustains everything and causes everything to be still and to be in space. And so, you know, the statements that these brothers make.
Hey, the bar, you gonna call in and cut them up?
You play that game with, like they say, they want me to prove something. Hey, look, I'm not going to get into consensus talking about science. You just quoted me, guys. It was ancient as dust. And now we have modern technology and science.
Break,
and,
right?
we have observed new things by other technologies that they didn't even have back then. This is like you quoting Darwin, and Darwin didn't even know about what was neutrons and different atoms and these different things was at his time, because at that time they wasn't dealing with that. So you're quoting me gods that died that passed away, they did the best they can do in that time. But we have advanced technology now. We have advanced science. Several years ago, so even with the moon phases, I mean, like I say, you can't have an eclipse. And when you look at these eclipses, right, and you say that right now, it's the moon will be out right now, where I can see the moon right now. I'll be able to see the moon if there's not any clouds, and then it will be daytime over in the area probably of what time is it? Probably in California at that time, but then you see it also that in Japan it probably be coming upon their daytime to where it's rising in the AM, but we're still in the PM on the West Coast probably. Okay, and that's rising to the AM. Now, how does that work? How does that work when an eclipse takes place? Either you're gonna have the moon on one side of the earth, which the scripture clearly teaches against that. Because it says that he gave the lesser light to be a light for the darkness, for the evening time. So are you telling me that when the eclipse happens, if I see it in St. Louis, that on one side of the earth there is no moon? The scriptures don't teach that at all. So when you even look at their cycle, it's kind of crazy, So you can
only see eclipses on certain parts of the earth. That's retarded.
Because I'm not for all the jargon that they're gonna spit. I'm not a scientist or none of that, but I will tell you anything they're not gonna be able to do. And Vinny over there, for him to be some type of Old Testament or Hebrew scholar or whatever, he hasn't really came with anything solid. And I too don't even respect brothers that's running around here in the first place that that's making these silly claims. The dome. It says that he sits on the dome. That's what they say. What are asteroids? They say the asteroids break up off of the dome and come into that. Do you know how many? The dome should be gone now. Water should be just pouring in as much as asteroids come in this earth. Do you know how many asteroids come in this earth and hit the ground, and then they pure nickel and iron? Are you telling me that we're covered by pure nickel and iron? This is ridiculous what these guys are saying, and they haven't proved anything yet. And it's up to them to prove their burden, because they're the ones coming to us, telling us what the ancients said, who does not have modern technology. I am across the world talking to y'all almost everywhere in the world, if you're not in my area. So we have technology to understand what takes place out there. As far as the earth moving and moving through space, I'm pretty sure that these people will actually know, because they're the ones who have the technology. We shooting at the dome, and we will have major earthquakes, major stuff going on behind that. I'm talking about back to back. Just, Operation Fishbowl, they shooting at the glass dome. Why don't they shoot at the sun? Is the sun and the moon, is it a solid? What is it?
You just asked if the sun was a solid.
And gas So, these guys, is the moon solid? Is it a disc? What is it? Is it a spirit? Is it a globe? If it is a globe, then we are a globe ourselves. So these guys, man, come with you. I can't what is these guys dealing with?
It's a
conspiracy theory, and I think if
these all these brothers on there.
And you think filling up time with talking.
I want to do a hangout with just LeBron and cut his ass to death. Just me and him and you on here and cut his ass to death.
Oh man.
Alright, so we are round 5 of the final round of the rebuttal session.
Miyamoto Musashi, that nigga.
Basically, it's going to be a free for all. The dialogue is questions. The cross-examination part is the basic.
Damn Calvinist.
10 minutes overall.
Judgment and Calvinist.
Wait and go to the people out there. You guys got to say. But let's start round 5. Let's go to Team Flat Earth. Go to the phone line. That's
so hot.
There you go. And go ahead.
Oh, okay. So as we expected, when you don't have an argument either for yourself or against your opposition, what you do is offhand ad hominem attack. So that's not going to work around here. It doesn't matter. You're getting it to work right now. you haven't proven anything you said. So as far as the moon, right? The brother says he revolution of the moon and land going into the dark side. Well, that's not even possible because the moon rotates. So it's kind of like a clock. That's why you only ever see one side of the moon. So you cut yourself there. As far as advanced technology and us having that and that disproving what physicists say, okay, that has no bearing. Technology has no bearing or equation to proof of your argument. Okay, California has read these various verses, and I backed them up with understanding as California, and I read you quotes from physicists. He's a scientist. I read you Albert Einstein. They're still working off of his brain works right now. So what are you even talking about, Laurent? Okay, the majority of meteors, which you mentioned, don't even make contact with the Earth. You need to look that up. Okay, you don't even know what you're talking about. This is pathetic. And as far as the ancients had greater understanding of what this world is that we live in, and they had greater technology. Okay, you need to look that up. This is like a ridiculous argument. And as far as what do you think happens when they're using devices like CERN and devices like HARP? When you look up the information and the data after they use them, and you look up the earthquakes and them spiking around the world, it usually happens right around the time they're ramping up to use these devices and right after they're done using them. So I don't even know what bubble world you live in. So why don't you go ahead, Alex?
All right, so cool. I'm just going to hit them in the head with some more scriptures. This is Job chapter 11, verse 8. It is high in heaven. What canst thou do? Deeper than hell. What canst thou know? All right, so by the scriptures, there's a height to heaven and a depth to hell. You can't have a height of heaven in an ever-expanding heliocentric universe. You can only have a height to heaven on an earth with a dome over it. That would make more sense. Job 11:9. The measure thereof is longer than the earth and broader than the sea. It doesn't say longer than the sphere and broader than the curved ocean. You can only have length and width in this understanding on this flat level plane that we give you the understanding to. All right? So this is Colossians chapter 2, verse 8, to show you where your fallacy is, to show you why you don't understand. All right, it says, the word that any man swore you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men,
after the rudiments of the world,
and not of the. And we know, like the brother said on the other side before, worldly wisdom is foolishness with the Most High. This flat earth thing is not worldly wisdom, it's wisdom of the ancient. That worldly wisdom y'all pushing is outer space, is dwelling on other planets and moon landings and stuff. But this question and answer is going to get really key because I'm ready to answer some questions and I can't wait for you brothers to be put on the spot. You got anything? I can bring out some more scriptures real quick. This is Isaiah chapter. I just want to read one real quick. This is Psalms chapter 8, verse 9. He bows the heavens also and came down. 2 Samuel 22:10. He bows the heavens also and came down. And darkness is with his feet.
Ball head.
8:6 is a coming down, descending, to stretch out, to extend. All right? The heavens bend around us like a domed hemisphere. All right? That's what I've been reading to you in other places on the Bible. All right? And it's only time to flat earth. Yeah. You got the last part?
Now you go ahead, man. You do anything.
All right. And yeah, like we said earlier, the brother wasn't clear about it. The moon, can you show me one picture of the moon, of an other side of the moon? The moon has been taking pictures of every different spot on the earth. And LeBron, you said something earlier. I have countless of eyewitness testimony of myself seeing the sun and the moon at the same time on my part of the earth. I'm in Houston, Texas. What about in New Delhi, India? If I can see the sun and the moon, how the hell, due to the angles of me visualizing the sun and the moon, could it be something on the other side? What you really want us to believe is against our system. You want us to believe that way down under the ground, deep on the other side, is a man with his feet above his head, with the sky below him. That makes no damn sense. All right, but y'all believe that. There's nothing new under the sun.
Have you not called each other and both looked at the moon out during the morning?
Yeah, and you're in New York. I'm in Houston, yeah.
And we done that live time. So come on, man.
That disproves the globe based on the angles of you seeing the sun and the moon. That's a testimony. But ain't no other side of the earth. What kind of spooky boogeyman campfire witchcraft story is that? All right? Y'all believing in idolatry. Y'all are victims of idolatry. You've been spoiled by the powers that be. All right?
Man.
20 seconds left. 1 second.
All right, it's full of destruction.
Like little baby.
Nah, man, just bring on the Q&A.
Okay. Yeah, this Daniel chapter 4, verse 11. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof unto the end of all the earth. All right? So right here is a scriptural metaphorical example of something being saved to the end of the earth. That can't happen in no book.
Ain't no end to a ball. Ain't no kind of end to a globe.
What do you say?
He said that can't happen on a globe because there's no end.
All right, this is round
He
five,
gets finished though.
Final round for the rebuttal session part of this debate. Once again, after this, we're going to go to the cross-examination part of this debate. So let's go to Team Global and get the final rebuttal out. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I think these guys need to study up a little bit more. You know, like as I stressed before, when, you know, these brothers said that he was outside, he was in Houston, we have a problem in Houston, and then this brother said that he's on the west, in New York somewhere. Now, when you look at this, once again, this works on a global model, but on the flat earth, it does not work, because the earth actually spins on this axis, and not only do the earth spins on this axis, but also the sun revolves around the earth, as well as it spins on its axis just as well.
The sun revolves around the earth?
To where the
That's what we're trying to tell you, nigga.
The earth revolves around the sun as well as the sun has its a circuit just as well, because the sun is not stationary according to when we look at South 19. So on the global model, that definitely works. I mean, you can have it on the global model to where the light is actually reflected about the moon. The sun is reflected upon the moon. The moon is a satellite. So when you look at it, as I stated before, in Japan, it would be their AM now, I believe. Matter of fact, it would be let's look at that. It would be their AM. You know, when you look at a world clock right now. Go to Japan and see what time it is. We got this technology now that they didn't have. In Japan, it will be okay. In Japan right now, it's 12:01 p.m. They 13 hours ahead. And so, whereas I see the moon on this side. It's 12:01 p.m. So evidently, the sun has to be reflecting off of, guess what, the moon, and it has to be at a distance farther than the moon. So it's 12:01 p.m. on that side. Now, on a flat Earth model, I'm gonna ask these brothers again. At 12:01 p.m. on this side,
damn, dude, stop stuttering.
Stop stuttering. It's in Tokyo. In Tokyo, it's 12:01. It's in the afternoon there. So, okay, and over here it is actually 10:02 p.m. so to speak. Hold on. Am I saying this right? They're 13 hours.
No, he ain't saying shit right.
13 hours.
Oh my God.
They're 13 hours, what's called, so it's actually afternoon over there, right? Now, aren't there 12 hours in a day, as Jesus said? So when we look at the overall, how would a eclipse work? Because it wouldn't work on a flat Earth. If I'm saying an eclipse, and of course it's a flat Earth model, and the sun is basically, or the moon is blocking the sun, or the sun is, the Earth is between them, however, because that's my standpoint on what a lunar eclipse is. It's basically the Earth is blocking the path of the sun, and the moon is on the other side, casting shadows about the Earth with some of the solar light. But for the solar eclipse, how would that work? In other words, on that model, you will see that the sun and the moon is basically circling the earth on top as a spotlight. How would that work? And also, another thing too, is the moon farther than the earth? I mean, farther than the sun? Or is the sun farther? So it seems to me they change their model every so often. But let me read something to you real quick. Job 38 and 4. It says, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? He's checking Job and his friends, because Job think they thought they knew what they was talking about. When I made a cloud, its garment and thick darkness is swallowing back. Now, as I'm telling you before, the scripture is clearly telling you in the beginning, he made the expanse, and he rebuilt the expansion and caused the swallowing band, which was the cloud, to be the thick garment above, which he said that he has given these things to be, guess what, for signs and for seasons, which was the light and the moon. So in order for there to be the sun and the moon, in order for there to be signs and seasons, the scripture is basically telling you right here, Job 38 and 4, and also verse 9, how he made the clouds a thick darkness and caused the mist to go forth, which is the vaporization and condensation, and put a expansion, which caused the firmament to be above the waters that was below, which was on the earth, and also the waters that was above, which we see now. It comes from the rain. So this is simple. But go ahead, Brother Madonna.
You said the water is above.
Something about we look about something about outer space. But when you look at Hebrews 11 and 3, it says by faith we understand the universe was formed in God's command. So what it seems was not made out of what was visible. So that right there, so there is an outer space, and there are other galaxies. So I just wanted to stomp on the outer space thing as far as that. And as far as the brother said, they looked at the moon more than, like they looked at it more than Solomon. I said if the brother looked at the moon, they can see that when I mentioned the landmass, that on the moon that we see, it is a landmass carved out or however it's made. We see that it extends farther than I can see, which means it's going somewhere. Because if you look at the landmass on it, you can see.
All right, so now begins the cross-examination part of this debate. Again, for those just joining in, I see we have a lot more and more people joining into the show. Again, it's the last show before the brand new season 7 begins September 23rd. We're going to take a summer break.
Terrible. This dude is terrible.
Fact or fiction, and we got seeing the response on social media, seeing the emails as well. So I really got to join this debate, and we're going to get your question and comment later on. Again, that number is 646-716-7320. So we're going to go across that part of this debate. It's only going to be 10 minutes for this particular segment. Both teams are going to be, dialoguing with each other, speaking to each other. Only thing that I ask when you ask the person a question, please try to allow them to finish answering the question. And if it gets a little too crazy, of course, I'm going to jump in and moderate. But I'm going to let you guys go at it and talk amongst each other. Again, it's only going to be 10 minutes. And after that, we're going to go into the intermission break. And we're going to come back to the people out there, see what you guys got to say. So let's open up all the phone lines now. Open up all the phone lines. And let's see. Everybody's here. Hold on 1 second. All right, we can start the dialogue. Hey.
All right, Team Globe. Why are there not millions of different real non-composite pictures of the Earth from these supposed satellites orbiting the Earth?
I think that, through CGI and different things, I think that what we see is mainly these people have contacted beings outside of ourselves, I believe. When we look at certain movies, they tell us, also ancient cultures tell us that they contacted beings that's outside of ourselves. I believe they was possibly even the angels that's mentioned in the Bible. So when it's telling us specifically, I believe it's not showing us everything due to the fact of that. So that's why
get him out of here.
I'm going to take practice the document. Yeah, I agree with that. I just wanted to add that I just want the brother to ask the question. One more time, brother.
Millions of different real non-composite and CGI pictures of the Earth from all these thousands of satellites up there. There's no picture of the Earth. All of them are fake.
Well, to my perspective, I think some of them are real. But understanding the beast system, I think he mixed truth with lies. I think some of the pictures are real and some of the pictures are fake. So to me, being a shepherd in this land, I can only theorize from both parts. You know what I mean? But from my perspective, and my understanding, I think they mix the truth with lies. And I think some of the pictures are real, but to keep the masses confused and the masses asking questions, they put out their propaganda that way.
Okay, this is my stance. I'll say that every picture of the Earth is fake. Once you throw that out, there's no benchmark to establish the Earth being a globe. All right, so once we understand that, you're going off of blind faith and believing in men. So the listening audience can look up and look at these images and see that they're fake and see that the sizes of the continents change with each new image that they promote. So that's my thing.
You know, all the white continents are bigger too.
They tell you that they're composite renders.
Africa's hella tiny.
Okay, so these are not photographed at all. Can I? Yeah, and I was just gonna say, he said we believing in men. I just want to say this real quick, John. Every Earth model that you've seen, was it that made by man?
Well, the flat Earth model, that I subscribe to has nothing to do with actual accurate landmass.
But wasn't it made by men? Or whether how you want to put it. Right. So it's the globe.
Yeah. So it's the globe.
Right, but I'm just saying that because you said we believe in putting our faith in men. So I think that's contradicted as a real hypocrisy.
They need to say it comes from the scriptures.
Philosophy of men, because nothing that you believe in is observable from you going outside and looking.
Let me ask you.
Nothing that you have come with. In fact, you haven't even come out of the scriptures to prove heliocentrism and the ball earth. You don't even have any evidence, whatever. So your argument that you're trying to apply to us is like reverse psychology. You should apply to yourself, brother. Where is
let me hold on. Hold on, brother. Well, hold on, brother. Listen. Number one is the claim that you brothers is making is like the consensus is totally against it. That's the first thing. As far as scientific. Well, hold on. So listen, brother. No. Listen, brother. Can I? Brother, can I? Hold on, brother. Bench, brother. I'll let you speak.
No, that's not my name. My name's not Benny. My name's not Benny.
You look like your name Benny.
Well, that's not my name, brother. I have to respect.
All right, Ben.
My name is Ben,
or you can call me Mr. B. No, it's not brother. Listen.
It's Ben 10. Get it right.
Okay, Ben 10. All right, cool, brother.
No, Ben 10.
C-O-N.
Oh, you put the ton on there, Ben Ton. Okay,
no, my father put the ton on it. Get it correct.
All right, cool. All right,
let's go back on the topic, y'all. Let's go.
All right, so listen, brother, listen. All I'm saying the proof of the birth
job
because the consensus is already against you. So you're making a claim, so you have to prove that claim, brother. So let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask my question, though, brother.
The name of the debate is flat Earth versus globe Earth. So we are
let me ask you a question, brother.
Go ahead.
Let me ask my question because I asked y'all a question, brother. Now listen. Now, okay, I'm trying to understand how this works. brother. Listen, okay. So the dome, I got to get this. The dome. The sun is inside of the dome, right?
According to Genesis 1:14, yeah.
Okay, well, Genesis 14, I mean, in Genesis, it's stated that there are actually three heavens, as Paul stated. What is that talking about?
Well, you have the atmosphere, you have the luminaries.
I wish them niggas would read that shit.
So those are the three heavens that he's talking about? So, okay. Now, how many firmaments is there?
There's one.
There's one firmament.
And what is the firmament? Is it the dome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this. So he placed the sun and the moon within the dome, which is
you don't have to
get
inside of our.
You can read it right in Genesis. You can read it right. Okay, brother. So I'm just trying to get it going. All right, so listen, when he placed it inside the dome, right now, okay, it says that the birds may fly in open firmament. What is that talking about, brother? Because it seems to me it's not solid.
The atmosphere.
So, okay, now the atmosphere. Hold on, brother. So now,
when you read the word firmament in heaven, it can be synonymously talking about one or the other. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, but I don't think you understand that the sun can be inside the firmament because it's so big in your mind. You brought up the example of Tokyo and time zones. Do you know how many time zones are in the earth?
Right. I definitely, but no, that's how many times wait, brother.
Wait.
This is what it's really saying.
That's what I'm saying. You're bringing up the time zone, but you're not answering my direct question. When I said something about an eclipse, I said, how do you have an eclipse according to the flat Earth model? In other words, if you hold on, brother. Go ahead. Show us that, please.
Okay. So I just did you not listen to me get during the debate? I said I've been put on record to be seen with both the sun and the moon above the horizon. I just told you I have testimony of me standing in Houston, Texas, and seeing the sun and the moon. On your globe model, I shouldn't be able to see the sun and the moon. All right. So if I can break it down to you, there are 24 time zones. The sun passes into a new time zone every hour. When the sun sets in New York, in 1 hour, it'll set in Chicago and Houston. In 1 hour, it'll set in Denver, Colorado. In 1 hour, it'll set in Los Angeles, California, and so on. So each day, the sun is passing, circumnavigating over the earth, and of course, the sun gives light to more than one time zone at a time, but over the earth, it's a clock. And the sun and the moon work like the big hand and the little hand. And when they overlap each other, vice versa, that's a solar and a lunar eclipse.
Right. You got to
wait, brother.
So many times. Enoch chapter 72, do get the cycles of the moon, and they'll show you the circle.
Wait, hold on, brother. In Iran right now, in Tehran, Iran, it's 7:46 a.m. Right now, at 7:46 a.m. Right on your flat Earth model, would they be able to see the moon at this time?
If I can wake up in Houston, Texas at 7 o'clock in the morning and see the moon, then in New Delhi, which is on the other side of the earth, shouldn't the moon be over there?
Wait, brother, wait.
Then how can I see the sun and the moon at the same time?
Hold on, brother, listen.
It's impossible.
Wait. Let me ask you this question.
Wait.
It's 7:47 a.m. I can see the moon right now. Hold on, listen, brother. It's 9 hours and 30 minutes ahead of us at 7:47 a.m. right now in Iran.
Are you saying that the moon is not over there right now?
Yes, I'm asking, can they see the moon right now? I can see the moon right now. I'm asking, can they see?
So my counter to you in Houston, Texas, at 7 o'clock in the morning, if I can see.
He let LeBron take up all the time with his questions. the same question over and over again.
Right.
What's up, people? Time is up.
He can't understand
what I'm
nothing.
gonna do is, anything that you guys didn't get to answer, of course, as we go along with the question, the Q&A segment, you can bring out some things. Let's take down your notes, write them down, put them to the side, and you can bring them out. We have more time during this debate to bring out some more information. But right about now, we're gonna take a 8-minute intermission break. 8-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from the people out there that's listening on social media, that's listening on their phone, via phone and Skype. Again, I see people standing by, they're waiting patiently to ask their questions. What you got to do is, once you call that number, you press number 1 and stand by for the Q&A segment. I'm telling you, you got to press number 1 right now because there'll be a long line of people waiting for questions. So let's take the intermission break right now, and we be right back after these messages. Stand by.
Welcome to the Planet of the Geeks, DebateTalk4u Radio.
Peace and shalom. This is Imuna Yisrael from the Sunshine State, and I am tuned into Debate Talk for You, the place where you can get intellectual exchange with no profanity. I love it. One.
Out here in Birmingham, UK, we stay tuned to that Debate Talk for You radio show. Just want to shout out my man Sal and all the other hosts. Make sure you keep it locked right here from the Express Truth. Peace.
Hey, Konsu want to talk about intelligent design.
Talk with the Titans Hotel, Callum L. You're now locked into Debate Talk for You radio.
Yeah, shalom. I want to give a shout out to Sal at Debate Talk for You. Hey, Debate Talk for You is where it's at. You know, get your verses straight, put your cell phone record, come on board, present what you got. If anyone trying to cut you off, Sal will just mute that guy's mic. You know, he'll let you express what you got, he'll let you present what you studied for. Let the audience decide what you got, you know, is inside the scriptures. Debate Talk for You, once again, shout out to Sal. Terrific job. Hey, you can press number 1 or find yourself on a lion's den.
They could have did some better ass
praises
kicking.
to the Most High. Shouts out to them 12 tribes. Yeah, it's nothing but the truth. All praises to the Most High. Shouts out to them 12 tribes. This one right here for you. If it ain't they keep walking, my enemies keep talking, cause my people sleepwalking, and they don't wanna change it. Yeah, what for life they teaching these 12 tribes, got my people out here living like they brain dead. I always knew that it was what a life. Don't put my finger on it. Now I see a bigger picture. Line upon line, yeah, it's all starting to make sense now. As I'm flipping through these scriptures, rebuking my wicked ways, turning away from sin, repenting, on the daily, becoming a better man. Trying to help out my brother, praying they understand what they thought with Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. That's what people go, seeking the hundredfold. That's why the wicked one despise me. Just like this life is a movie and the Bible is a script, so I advise that you choose your role wisely. Yes, that's what it is. That's it for my people. Yeah, that's how we do. So, be a people.
Oh shit.
And I do it for my Hebrew.
Give him credit for effort.
My name is Karen. If you want to hear the best debates in the world, come check out Debate Talk for You, posted by my dad, Showtime. Bye.
That song got an E for effort.
Oh my God.
Listen up, y'all. People take time to pay attention. I'm speaking in parables. I need you here to listen. Sign on the mystery. It's like history. It will not be withheld. So understand our misery. The shadow of your will is power in every miracle. The creed will take attention to the intent. Gave our ancestors strength order. Take the children so the next generation of the nation keeps building. Confidence in Yah and all his achievements. The light in his Sabbath and all his commandments. Not a generation running from ya. He free I himself till when it was time to fight. Refused to follow his laws, so they took flight. Got his achievements, marvels he showed them. Down in Egypt in the plains of Zoe. Spotted the sea, the water standing tall as sight. Led with a fury, blow cloud at night. Sitting rocks, twisting they thirst for ever water. Straight from rocks and Taurus, pure water. The only thing against him is days more than ever. To find the most high in the midst of the desert. Deliberately counted the guys and made it cool. Like couldn't get respected like they didn't have a clue. So going straight out, but look at spread now. So they questioned about me, so we let it rain down. They ordered to the sky, opened the doors of heaven. The branch of a mortal, he took care and fed them. He stirred up the east wind, stirred up the south wind. He rained down meat like dust rain. But thick as the sand, resting on the shore. They threw it in their mouth, but they still wanted more. So y'all rap attacked him, killing all the strongest men. Laying on the flower of Israel, no again. Despite they went, they didn't trust in his moments after they days for years and it flashed. Horrible, harder than they thought him, he became more eager. Remembering Yah was the prophet, their redeemer. But outwardly they flatter him, they turned blind to him. Their hearts were not true, no faith in his covenant. Naturally, however, threatened his anger. Remember red creatures of flesh, he showed faith. I raised him in the desert, say the come on, president. Rivers of blood, horse fly off and all. Calicut is looking, can you see the hell fall? Broncos stick with more trees, cattle with flame. Flock pigs respect you, feel his rain. Anger of disaster, anger will free the rain. Striking the firstborn, hand in the land. This lawyer not born, rejected his hand. The shoulders of Ephraim, we chose Judah. Chose David with a tender to hand. He the future.
This is Raheem your expert investigative report. Checking out the Lions Den Debate Talk for You with your great host, Sal Showtime.
We got knowledge you gotta be blessed to know. Keeping these commands, but stress to go. More worried about where I would end up. Not too worried about where the rest should go. A blueprint that was given, like the glue of this ribbon. Here to remind you how far off you were slipping. Considering the time span, I changed in an instant. Common sense that common if we see all to be different. We supposed to be one body and one mind. Souls on the line. It's very clear for one mind used to be blind. I analyze details like I'm in the ocean. Eyes open. I see well came once your wife was on track, but got derailed. Sundown next Friday, you wasn't there like Ezel. Now I got visions to see different than you. But no guitar, you still feel these ribbons and blue. Ribbons and blue. Ribbons and blue. All I get is ribbons and blue.
Consu ain't replied to me yet.
Okay.
Huh?
I said okay.
I'm out of universe, beautiful colors of planet. If you hang me, let it be your greatest commandment. I know I sound like a broken record. This year alone, Yasharada broke some records. Take groups in the world to confuse a nation. Black holes who want to consume illumination. While we stuck on the stove, we finally found food. Water boiling, has never turned down the mood. Cause the bottom line ain't what it boils down to. If you never showed yourself what I found you. We in round 11 fighting like it's round 2. Can't deny it was around them, I'm still around you. Giving you the credit for everything I've done before. Thinking everything you enjoying the most.
I know Sal was a Hebrew.
Yeah.
He's a Hebrew?
Yeah.
I think they back.
All right, family. Once again, we are back. We're going to the Q&A segment of this debate, Flat Earth Theology, Fact or Fiction. By the way, like I always say, you can check out the archives. If you missed any part of this debate, go to www.blogtalkradio.com/DebateTalk4u. It's going to be an iTunes podcast as well on the YouTube page. So make sure you check out those pages and check it out. But let's go to the people out there. See what you got to say. Let me open up everybody's phone line first. Team Global and Team Flat Earth. We're going to bring everybody back in. Make sure everybody's here.
You going to call in?
All right, so we're going to go to the people right now. And once again, people call in. There's no foul language. Keep it clean, keep it professional. All right, so let's go to the phone line. Let's go to 910-489.
Yes, Shalom. Good debate. You got a lot of information came from Flathead, and a lot of filler talk.
Man didn't even call me to get on.
I want to focus on one thing Bald Head said, which is they said that the reason you don't see a real picture from space is because NASA is covering up their relationship with aliens. Okay, so you got, and then Madonna said that you got lies mixed with truth. So my question is, why do you accept something or a source that mixes lies with truth, just like the serpent did in the Garden of Eden when he mixed the lie with the truth towards Eve? You know what I'm saying? So this is devilish. This is deception, mixing lies and truth. We deal with the whole truth and nothing but the truth over here. You know what I'm saying? And reality, what reality circles and the reality movement. That's what we do. So I like to hear an answer about that. Why do you accept a source that mixes the lies with the truth? That's ridiculous.
All right, Team Ballhead.
Like I say, I think that Madonna made it clear before. This brother's mind is building this thing upon a conspiracy, and they say, why do we accept this and that? And they basically accepting the same thing. Like for instance, like I just told this brother about what time it was in Tehran, Iran, right? And I did the mile search on it, and these brothers say that the moon or the sun is 3,000 miles above the earth, right? I've heard them say this. And when they say that, and then you have you have it to where the miles between the Tehran and St. Louis is 6,730.
He ain't answering the question.
Then that's a problem.
I just wanted to support, you know what I'm saying? Call in and support.
3,000
should have cut him up.
miles above the earth. You shouldn't be able to see the moon T-Rod all the way to St. Louis, Missouri, and it's been 6,734 miles. That doesn't add up at all. So, I think that these guys, are tripping. So I think that somebody lying here, but I think that these brothers on this phone get lied too. Now, is the government actually hiding stuff and lying about stuff? Definitely they are, and I believe it's out of source intelligence. If anything, they don't want people to know what's out there because they know that what's out there is what's giving them the intelligence that they get right now. Well, go ahead, brother. Dr. Matt, you want to take a crack at that?
Yeah, man, I was just going to go back to the brother. I think that was Brother DeBar who was saying, if I said, Mrs. Live is true, I said, but like I said, man, we can go back to Hebrews 1 and 3. To me, that clears it up. The Most High sustains everything by His powerful word. So that alone could give to sustain a globe earth to me. And like I told the brother earlier, if the moon reflects the world, why is there land mass on top of the moon seems to be going farther than what it is?
Let's go to Team Flathead.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. You are now in the host queue.
We're going to discuss what's factual and what's myth. We're dealing with two theories here, the flat earth theory and the theory that the earth being a globe. It holds no water.
You are now off the host queue.
I gave them an example from me in Houston, Texas.
Why you get off?
It's calling on an internet call, but it's only got 3 minutes.
But it's okay. Don't worry about distance. Worry about the angles of which I'm seeing these celestial entities. If I can see the moon still up in Houston, Texas at 8 o'clock in the morning, obviously it's right somewhere. All right? And the moon has to be out there. Okay, so if I can see these two things, why are you stumbling? When you're talking about the sun, the moon can I can see in New Delhi, in whatever city you call it, when I can see the moon in the morning in Houston, when it's night on the other side of the world, supposedly. There is no other side of the world. The sun is small, and the moon is smaller than how you perceive it. Okay?
Okay, how many miles?
Ron, let the brother answer the question, Ron. Stop doing that.
How big is it, bro?
I just asked you a question, brother. How far is the earth, the moon and the sun away from the earth, brother? That's all I
would subscribe that the sun and the moon are of different distances, but in the same inside the firmament. I would say the sun and the moon are above the earth and are not as big as what we expected. The moon changes with altitude.
And they're working on parallel circuits. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you for example. Yeah. For example, when the moon and the sun are at the same altitude, half of the lunar surface is illuminated. And that's called the first quarter moon. Likewise with the last quarter, when it's 50% visible, that you did not prove showing 3 tennis balls creating that phase of the moon. You can't. All right. So whereas in the last quarter, when an observer looks up, they will see a shadow cut the moon in half.
Wait, brother. Listen, brother. I asked you, how far is the sun and the moon away from the earth, brother? That's all I asked you. What about how far is the sun away from the earth?
Yeah, I'll put it this way. The sun and the moon are approximately the same size and are at the same distance. They're not 93.5 million miles away. I would subscribe to them being close. So if you want to conclude 3,000,
well, the flat Earth model, you can't tell us about Wait, hold on, brother. Listen, I asked another.
Nah, there ain't no hold on, bro.
Listen, brother.
Let's get some of these calls. We're gonna go to an that's all those things. We gotta get some of these calls. Let's get some of these callers. Let's go to the phone line. Let's go to 478-213. You're live on the air. Hey, what's going on, man?
What happened?
What?
Just cut. Speed cut.
Shalom.
Okay, there you go.
Team Flat Earth and Team Hello, this is Brother Antoine from Absolute Bible Truth. How y'all doing, Steve? Hello, brother.
Antoine, bro, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, LeBron? Look, man, I hate, as much as it pains me to do this, I want to say good debate, but honestly, in all honesty, brother, this is not a good debate. Team Flat Earth really took the cake as far as bringing information and dealing with the scriptures and things that are brought forth. Not to LeBron, I can't think of the other brother's name. I don't remember it. I'm terrible with names. But the brother kept saying a lot of times tonight, like, according to this, it could happen. Well, according to this, a lot of things could happen. God could have things a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? But when dealing with a specific topic, I gotta agree with Charles Plain. I don't agree with him on a lot of things as far as politics. When it comes to this right here, you know what I'm saying? These brothers are knocking out of the park. Now, me myself personally, I can't say. I will say this: I am 100% convinced that we live in a geocentric world. It's not heliocentric. I do believe that we're a geocentric world
I can't give you every detail about everything. I don't know everything about the whole Antarctica situation. I don't know everything about, certain, things, but I will say this. I really thought that the team, they brought a ton of information tonight, and on the other side is a bunch of speculation. The brother, not you, the other brother, he said it could. Like, I don't even know how many times he kept saying it could be this or it could
get
be
off
that.
Ron's nuts.
And a lot of other times,
I'm surprised to hear this. Absolutely.
There's a lot of speculation going on here, or a lot of questions being asked. You know what I'm saying? And granted, you can take that stance all you want to, but I don't feel like it's like, you should be debating it, when there's a lot of things up in, in the air. I want to give one quick testimony and one question really quick. I'll be really quick. I had questions about this myself. About a year ago, I was questioning it big time. I didn't really understand everything. Some things didn't make sense, and I always question everything you taught in school. But I climbed, I don't have that active mathematics in front of me right now, but I climbed Stone Mountain all the way to the top, to the peak of Stone Mountain. And from the top of Stone Mountain, you can see downtown Atlanta, and you can see Buckhead, but they about like 9 miles apart from each other, like downtown, business areas, they're like 9 miles away from each other. And I took my phone, I took a picture all the way around from where I was at in Stone Mountain. It was like 18, it was almost 20 miles away from Stone Mountain to where the downtown Atlanta was. And according to the mathematics of it, I should only be seeing like half of the building. You know what I'm saying? But I can see almost the whole entire building, and I can see Buckhead, and I can see all the way around, and I saw snow, like nothing leaning over. So that first thing made me start to question, like, I really need to start looking at it. But my question, the real thing that got me is this to the ball. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not 100% convinced on everything. I don't know all the answers to it, but there's some questions that people who believe in the ball earth cannot answer. So how fast? It's a serious question. So this to the ball earth is how fast does the earth spin? Anybody can answer how fast does the earth spin as told by us? Well, let me say this first. I heard what you said, but at the same time, I think you're walking contradiction because you said there's no real facts. So what I see from what the brothers talking out from the scriptures, then none of that at all prove that the earth was flat to me. And second thing, like I said, we go to Hebrews 3. You said I said could, and the brother, you asked me why I said could a lot, because the brother asked the question, how could the earth be a globe and the water not falling off? So that's why I referred to Hebrews 1 and 3. The Most High sustaining all things by his powerful words. So if the Most High wants the earth to be a globe and sustain water, how you want to sustain it? That's what I referred to. I was referring to the question. But I understand. There's no fact that the flat earthers have come up with. If you look at it, bro, we believe. I don't think nobody on this channel that believes all things are possible with God. We all believe that. Y'all, you doing this statement obvious. We understand that. We're not proving the point of whether or not it's a globe or not, or whether it's flat or not. That's the point they trying to bring you. It's like I can't even deal with that. I've heard them say they're like, man, we ain't got nothing to rebut because you ain't bringing nothing. You know, the statement obvious. We believe that. You know, and brother, trust me when I tell you, like I don't even believe or some of the things that we don't went in it with these dudes before. You know what I'm saying? But they got. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Out of respect for the person who says right is right. Do it. I'm talking about bringing story, but that's not my question. My question is, how fast does the earth spin on this earth? How fast does the earth spin as told us by science or by school or that's however y'all think? That's science. That's to me that's the mystery. That's one of the mysteries of the Most High. So I don't think you can get a direct answer for that in my question. Unless you go by science. Well, I'm saying. Wait, hold on. Let me say something real quick. As far as your question, as far as when you said you climbed to the Stone Mountain, right? I think that you forgot to add to that the farther up you go, the higher you go. How high is Stone Mountain? Like if you took me up, let's say if you took me up 20 stories, you took me up on the Chicago, the tallest building be able to see so much. So I mean, it just that just don't cut the cake because of how you go.
I understand. You completely missing the point, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm saying, like, they are just like really running away with this debate. Y'all are completely missing the point. My whole point in saying that was like it made me question everything. You know what I'm saying? That's what made me say, dang, I don't see any curvature. Because I can see everything in a 360 view and it's a straight line. I took my phone, everything is straight. I can see some kind of bend in anything if I'm on a ball. That's what I was thinking. So I'm like, that made me question everything. It ain't about whether or not what it makes sense. Like, that's not my point. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all like not paying too close attention. Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you another question now, because I gotta ask you, because I want to see where he's going with this. The Earth spans 1,000 miles per hour, so to speak. What's your point? Where you going with that? That's how you feel. All right. So that leads me to ask this. I'm taking y'all through the process that I was to ask questions. I said, so the Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour. So if me, I play basketball. You know what I'm saying, in college. So if I'm standing down, right, and I jump up and I come back down, if the Earth spins 1,000 miles an hour, why do I land in the same spot? That's my first question to that. Hold on. Number one is this I think that for the most part, everything is you know, because usually time you know, they say this all the time. They say these questions. They will say, well, if the Earth is spinning these miles per second or this time or whatever the case may be, they'll say, then why is it the water flying out the Earth? But there's something what the brother just said just now, you know, just as well. You know what I'm saying?
You can't answer nothing.
I think that there's a big problem with that because I think it is more so due to the fact of not only are we spinning, but also we also are going around the sun just as well. You know, to where it seems to where it's fast to us. I mean, it's fast, but it's not fast to us. I think because number one is when you look at the water, right, everything is being bound by God. In other words, he told the waters where to come and where not to go and where things to be at. You know what I'm saying? Where things to be at. So I think that from that perception, I believe that it's dealing with basically with so much of what we call force, some type of force or some type of gravity. And the only way to get outside that gravity is through some type of force, as we see that when we look at planes getting off the ground and this of a sort. But that's how I will answer that. You know, me personally, I think the first question you asked was when you climbed up to the mountain, you was higher, so you would be able to see. The second one it's just like he said, God is going to sustain things as the scripture completely says, because the Bible
explanation is weak as shit.
So when we look at it, it's basically being hanging or is being put in place by God. In other words, God is the one who has put it in place, and he's the one that's holding it up by his word, the Bible says. So, I mean, that's my answer to that. I'm not no scientist, and I don't, it's just well, but
knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Let me let Team Flat Earth respond quickly, because that's one question. One question.
I hope you didn't. I just asked this.
Yo, guys, let me just help the call out for a second. This is something that I believe Ron was saying in terms of the circumference. All right. So the circumference of the Earth, you're saying is about 25,000 miles. Okay, so with that, you should, according to spherical trigonometry, you should have about 8 inches of curvature per mile. So when the brother is telling you he's standing on top of Stone Mountain and he can see almost the entirety of a building, that includes your ball Earth. Okay, it's known that there's other principles known as the lighthouse problem. Okay, you got things like no brother needs no puppy.
No, this is the call.
All right, so there's a lighthouse. It's called Port Nicholson Light. This is New Zealand. And I'm showing you this to show you the irrelevancy of you trying to say his altitude makes a difference. The altitude of the lighthouse is about 420 feet. It's visible at about 35 miles away. Okay.
Okay, according to your ball Earth, according to spherical trigonometry, with the circumference of the Earth being 25,000 miles, it should be 220 feet below the horizon. Okay, I can give you about 15, 20 more examples. Okay? Exactly. You need to account for this and stop buck dancing. And you're right, but this is a caller right now, by the way. This wasn't Lamar. But you're exactly right. Yeah, and see that point right there was kind of like made me start to question everything. But my whole thing about, and I'll be done after this, my whole point of bringing about how fast the Earth spins, the first thing I thought of was like, I said, all right, is the Earth spinning that fast? I think it's faster than 1,000 miles an hour. They say how fast it's spinning. I think it's maybe close to the equator faster. I'm not sure. But if it's spinning 1,000 miles, if I jump up in the air, I should not land in the same spot. It's just moving, especially 1,000 miles an hour. You should land in one. I should land in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm in Florida right now, so I should land in the Gulf of Mexico somewhere. And then, my whole other point, I said, okay, I got to get out there. Well, that's the case, I should be able to go up in a helicopter, sit up there for about 3 hours, and come down and land in Mexico somewhere.
There you go.
Spinning that fast. And then the third thing, I'm like, all right, like I got my brother-in-law lives in California, right? An airplane, he can get on an airplane and fly to Atlanta and be there in like 4 hours, right? If the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour, east to west, it's spinning 1,000 miles an hour. An airplane, a commercial jet does not go 1,000 miles per hour. It goes about 500. You know what I'm saying? Some of the fastest go 600. You know what I'm saying? It will never catch up to the speed of the Earth spinning. And then furthermore, how would it ever be able to land? You know what I'm saying? You can never catch a flight from California and go to the east coast of the United States if the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour. So the airplanes just do not go that fast. There's a problem with the mathematics that's going on, or we're actually living on a flat plane and under a firmament. And by the way, you go look at any Bible dictionary, any Concord, go read Josephus. Josephus will tell you straight up that the Hebrews believe that the firmament is a glass, hard dome that's over the earth. That's what they believe it is. And you got to understand, NASA, man, go all that out, probably, man, all of that wicked stuff, man. Just go look into that stuff. I was probably one of the most wicked men who ever lived on the face of the earth. Just go check that out. LeRon, I love you. Other brother, I love you. California, yeah, man, brother, got this good job. Ain't no ill will, like this ain't no foundation issues, you know what I'm saying? To me, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I think this to me, some of this reading it to actually strengthen my faith in the Most High, you know, from the same things that I looked into. But you know, that's my 2 cents, man. Peace.
Slater.
All right, people, we only have like 9 minutes on the air. What that means is we're going to go to the overtime part of the show. Also, that means if you're listening on social media, if you're listening on Blogtalkradio, once that time runs out, the only way to get the rest of the show live is by dialing that number, 646-716-7320. So again, we have 9 minutes on the air, people. If you're listening on social media, inside Facebook and the group.
Let's see if this works.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you'll be able to listen to the show.
716-7.
To actually hear this type of ignorance, this type of shameful ignorance coming from black people and black communities. In 2016, we need to re-educate our
You are now in the host queue.
Now, this clown talking about the flat earth and the rest of you ignorance who don't even have an idea if the earth is flat or not. Brother, let me say this. It is a damn shame to actually hear this type of ignorance. This type of shameful ignorance coming from black people and the black community in 2016. We need to re-educate our people all over again and remind them of the importance of education. Now, to this clown fool who's from Houston, talking about the flat earth and the rest of you ignorance who don't even have an idea if the earth is flat or not. Brother, brother, shut up, it's my time, brother, be quiet. Brother, be quiet. Be quiet, it's my time to talk. Sir, it's my time to talk. Sir, it's my time to talk. Excuse me. are an embarrassment.
Black Jesus false name for him. Gotta ease up on his name for him.
All right. Well, look here. Got you are an embarrassment to the Houston School District, brother. Please look from west. All right. Now, I am looking. First of all, let me say this. Negro nut, hood rat, poverty. I'm not calling nobody a name. I'm talking about poverty. I'm talking about the ghetto. Hood rat, Negro nut poverty is a disease. It is a problem in our community. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Because it is obvious that these brothers have never owned a telescope. They have never flown in an airplane. At least most commercial airplanes fly at 33,000 miles. These brothers have never been on a ship or a boat far out in the ocean. Have probably have never left their city.
This nigga needs to shut the hell up.
And you sit up here in the black community. And when you sit up here, when you are in a plane, 33,000 miles up in the air, and when none of you flat earth guys or know anything about it, embarrassed. As far as you can see, and be quiet, I'm almost finished. When you are in the airplane, sir, and you look as far as you can see, be quiet. When you're 33,000 miles up in the air, since you ain't never been nowhere, since you ain't never left your neighborhood, you keep talking about Jesus. Oh, well, I can see Jesus. Stuff behind it. When you look across the atmosphere at 33,000 miles, you see nothing but the curvature of the earth. You cannot continuously see as far as the earth goes because it is hidden behind the curvature of the earth.
You can see so much in the airplane anyway.
We just supposed to put his word for it. None of us are in the airplane.
You do not see continuous ocean and land far away. All you see is water curving off at a certain distance, maybe a couple hundred miles or so. That is the curvature of the earth. If the earth was flat, you would be able to see all the countries and lands for thousands of miles. But you cannot. And you don't know that.
It's because your eyes don't go that far.
Big Jimmy. What do you think? Telescope
right now.
Right.
And all you have to do at the tip of your finger is look up the live stream of NASA of the Earth from NASA satellite. I'm looking at it right now. And you can also
no
go
such thing
to
as
the
satellites.
live stream of the International Space Station and see the Earth, the round Earth spinning. And
they should have let me be on here, boy. I would cut this fool so bad. You believe in satellites, nigga?
You can also see it from the astronaut.
You know about the thermosphere?
You can see this right now. This is embarrassing, man. You guys are black men and black brothers. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely embarrassing to us as black people. And
he gotta be an agent.
Well known.
Who is that?
Black Jesus.
Black Jesus.
They used to call himself Minister Black Jesus.
Get a hold of that fool, man.
Yeah, we done slayed him, destroyed him thousands of times already.
I want to destroy him right now. I want to destroy that nigga right now.
Or you see the shadow of the moon.
Filthy righteous judgment is coming down on his head.
Why is not letting them rent?
Whenever the earth eclipse occurs, then why is it a perfect sphere? And if it's flat as you say it was, then you're trying to say that the earth is like a dime or a quarter. It's round, but it's flat like a dime or a quarter. Well, then how the hell, sir, does every time that we have had a earth eclipse and a moon eclipse, that we have seen a perfect circle, but if you spin a dime or a quarter, and once it's facing the moon from the side, not from the side view, but from the round point, from the curvature of the coin, which would be the shape of the earth that you all are talking about, we would see that line off the eclipse showing that the earth would be flat, as you guys say. But nowhere in human history have we seen a dime or quarter size earth position
Blog Talk Radio.
the moon.
You are now in the booth queue.
Let me get some seconds. First off, I have a degree of BA in psychology and minor in philosophy with a focus on Eastern religion and with a focus on political science. Okay, so that was my background. In 2010. Okay. As far as
how does that?
What this brother's saying, I mean, does he have any background or evidence for anything that he's saying? The entirety of the story, we haven't heard one single drop or iota of evidence come from any of the ball earth references. So I'm not really sure what the brother was listening to. As far as him flying in the plane, anybody who flies in the plane,
one of the sounds over there.
3 weeks ago, I was out there chilling with him, and he flew the plane and took a couple pictures, and it was like, okay, the horizon is flat. When I was in the plane, when I flew to Atlanta, it was 2010. Okay. As far as what this brother's saying, I mean, does he have any background or evidence for anything that he's saying? The entirety of the call, we haven't heard one single drop or iota of evidence come from any of the ball earth.
Okay, I can call in with Google for free, so that's what I'm gonna do as soon as the feed ends here in a second.
Anybody who flies in the plane, California actually flew to New York. What was it, about 2-3 weeks ago? I was out here chilling with him, and he flew the plane and took a couple pictures, and it's flat. Okay, the horizon is flat. When I was in the plane, when I flew to Atlanta, it was flat. Okay, everybody who flies in the plane is flat. You do not observe. First off, you have the ball earthers who will tell you in their own arguments that, oh, well, a plane isn't high enough for you to observe the curvature of the earth because the earth is so big. Okay, so I'm not even sure what these brothers are arguing against. They pretty much don't understand geocentrism. They don't even understand heliocentrism, what they believe.
I'm gonna go ahead and call in.
It really makes no sense. Some of their arguments, they're really based on.
Do it like
the last of it.
Blog Talk Radio. There are no shows scheduled within the next 24 hours. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
I should have left it up. Yeah, they cut the feed. I should have left the call up.
Oh man. You sure?
I didn't know I could call in until I just now tested it out. Damn. On Google Hangouts.
Well, as you saw, the ball heads got mightily. I'm talking about it's pathetic. Then they called out one of their top 8. Whatever his name. He had to take the minister off his name because Israel destroyed him so bad that he begged, if I beat you in the debate, you have to take the minister off your name because you're not a minister of God. And he took the minister off his name, George LeBlanc.
George LeBlanc?
Yeah.
His name is George the White.
George LeBlanc.
Yeah, that's Blanc is white. It's French. I'm looking on Facebook, all I see is white dudes.
Let me try to see if I can find it.
What the fuck? That was terrible. That whole thing was just terrible. I feel like the brothers could have gave a stronger, flatter argument. But they did good. They did all right.
Yeah. But at time, Black Jesus Minister changed his name to now.
Black Jesus Minister?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, George LeBlanc, Black Jesus Minister.
Yeah, okay, you see it? Share it, because I don't know if I got the right one.
I see 2 of them on there. You see it?
Okay, there.
We might have to start a whole new hangout.
And do what?
And see if we can get LeBron and them on there. We can use my other one because I didn't go live on it at all.
You didn't go live on that discussion last night?
No, I'm talking about I was trying to get LeBron to come on to a hangout earlier because he was talking shit, but I forgot that he had a debate today.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well, I'm about to hey man.
All right, shalom.
I'm like y'all tuning in. Next week, y'all got some. All right, shalom.